Hi, Grizzlies. Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we continue to look at the case of Debbie Collier. If I don't present what I've got now, I'm going to stay in the rabbit hole for all time. I literally didn't sleep at all last night because I was in the rabbit hole. I'm just trying to make sense of this riddle. It's got so many. I understand why law enforcement says it's a very complex case. Yeah, sure is. There's a lot of variables. So glad you guys liked the intro. I know it's a bit dramatic. Some people are saying dramatic, but thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, do the things. Give a thumbs up, share so we can get this out there. Hashtag Debbie Collier on Twitter, Facebook, wherever else you can share it. That would be great. And now, what I'm going to do, okay, because I could go on and on and on. I could sit here with you for 24 hours and still feel like, do we know what's going on here? I want to I've made a presentation for you. So I'm going to show you that. Then I want to go over the incident report and the police call logs report. Shout out to Bed Crime Stories, channel. Have you seen that channel? For sending me the call logs report, because that I hadn't seen yet. And then I believe that today is Debbie Collier's celebration of life, and law enforcement is saying they could be giving an update after that, which is interesting. I don't know if they will today or if it's next week. I don't know what after that means. We're going to do some map time, and I also want to show you some articles from the Northeast Georgian, which I paid to sign up for so that we can read all that good stuff, because there's some interesting details in there as well. All right, so I'm just monitoring how many people are here. I know it's early, so not all the mods could be here, but thank you so much to those who can be. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know if you guys are not coping at all. I will slow it down or put subscriber only mode on, especially when if we get to near 1,000 people watching. Not sure, but let's see. All right. Yes. Tea with Bed Crime Stories. Really great channel. Go check it out. And Terry over there has also been covering the Debbie Collier case with many videos that were very informative as well. And I'm like, where did you get that? So now I was very grateful to be chatting to Terry as well. So here we go. Okay, let me take this banner off. What happened to Debbie Collier? That's what we're going to be looking at today. I know we don't know the answer, but damn. There's a few little things that I've learned about the timeline. That's what I want to share with you. And we're just going to try to make sense of all of this, okay? So, police think that this is not a kidnapping, not an unaliving, and not a serial killer. But then John Kelly, a criminal profiler with like 30 years of experience, who's interviewed serial killers, I mean, he thinks it's the workings of a serial killer. So I'm like, wow, you just can't take anything off the table in this case at this point, right? But so far, law enforcement says not kidnapping, not unaliving, not serial killer. They think it's a personal, targeted murder. So now we got to think of motive, because that helps clear the thoughts, right? What on earth is the motive? So we carry on. So on the left-hand side, is the motive money? Could it be life insurance? Could it be legal fees or drug money? I just highly doubt that, even though the fees that were transferred in the Venmo added up to very close to, which is what two law enforcement officers confirmed with Fox News, that yes, the amount that was transferred is very close to what Andrew Gigerich owes in legal fees. But number one, would he really be able to calculate all that? Number two, would somebody really do this over that? I don't think so, right? So, Mikey's mammy, G gets better every day, even with no sleep. Yes, I have not had much sleep. I've literally, been in this rabbit hole. So, could money be the motive? Life insurance? Some people even speculate still today that this could be an unaliving event. It's just, whoa, that would be very unlikely, especially the way that she was found and clutching a small tree with the right hand, and why would one char themselves and all that, but you just never know. Could it be for life insurance, legal fees, drug money? Like, could it be that her daughter and boyfriend owed some gangsters or drug dealers, money, and in some way this is the consequence? We just don't know. Could the motive be revenge? Shifting blame. Why I say that is because, as an example, maybe Andrew Geigerich is really pissed off that his mother got arrested in July 2021. We don't know who the whistleblower was for that. We know that undercover cops arrested her, and she's been sentenced to 30 years behind bars. 30 years. That's a long sentence for trying to sell meth to undercover cops. But could someone be feeling really angry about that and then thinking that Debbie is in the way of him and Amanda, where it's actually law enforcement in the way? There's a no contact order. But could he be projecting a whole bunch of rage, almost like lifelong rage built up inside of him? Maybe. We just don't know. I put the affair because I see that speculated a lot. It's a possibility. It's by no means any victim blaming or shaming. It's just could it be, like I say, affair or a breakup? I don't know on which side to consider that, right? But is revenge a motive? Is it money? Is it revenge? Could it be sexual? Could this be a stalker, a scammer, a Tinder hookup? Could it be a serial killer? We just don't know. The way she was left in the woods was very strange, and her cause of death is to still be determined. They said it would take about 6 weeks, which would mean round about now. It would be round about now. Katie K says, Andrew doesn't seem smart enough to go this far in trying to cover up a murder he committed. Right? I don't know. Oh, bye. So we carry on. Yeah, it could be anything so frustrating. So law enforcement says personal and targeted. And then there was this little snippet from the New York Post that says, one friend of the Colliers told the Post, there's a reason we are keeping quiet. I don't understand what's taking so long, one added, while referring to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. They're slow out here. So that's interesting to say there's a reason we're keeping quiet. What is the reason? Now, this is what's new on the Facebook group, the Debbie Collier case discussion. This was yesterday, and it's also now on Twitter, where they say News Talk 94.3 FM, okay? WCHM. Family no longer the focus? HCSO. That would be a good assumption. So let's just go into this. They say law enforcement was expected to make an update to the Deborah Collier case yesterday, but any news will likely wait until after a celebration of life service for Collier is held. It will be a private service by invitation only. I believe it's today. So, a question now before law enforcement. If the family will be in attendance tomorrow, does that imply that family members are no longer the focus of the murder investigation? When asked that question, one ranking member of the Habersham Sheriff's Office told WCHM News Director Nora Almazan that would be a good assumption. Now, to break this down, I can see there's a lot of speculation going around online, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere about this. But the thing is, law enforcement has to be really careful with their words right now. And maybe they mean if the family members who are in attendance are there, it would mean that those family members are no longer the focus of the murder investigation. But now we'll never know who's really there. Well, maybe we'll know, but we don't know who's there. They're also keeping it vague because they don't want... I mean, have you guys seen what's happening in the Quentin Simon case? Oh my word. With all those YouTubers outside the house and being arrested and protesting and all that, it can get really out of hand real quick, right? They don't want that at Debbie's celebration of life. So, but now, and unfortunately, by saying that would be a good assumption, damn, that makes people really curious. But hopefully soon we'll have an update from law enforcement, is what I'm taking out of this, on what is going on in this case and what was Debbie Collier's cause of death. I just want to quickly open this page just so I can monitor what's going on here. All right. Vanda Jim says maybe they don't want the family to think they are involved. And of course, for example, someone like Andrew isn't exactly family, Yeah, could they be bluffing? Are they observing them? I don't know. Yes, April says law enforcement watches who shows up to funerals. Exactly. Book Girl says, I appreciate that law enforcement isn't spilling the beans. It makes it really hard for prosecuting. Exactly. Critical Thinker says, joined late. Thank you for keeping this mystery alive. Oh man, I know I haven't made lots of videos recently on this case, but it's because it is a mystery. It literally keeps me up at night. I mean, literally. I was up all of last night. Mr. Grizzly at this point thinks I'm a little crazy. He's like, what are you doing? I'm busy trying to figure this out. So let's start with this. The car was found unlocked with nothing inside. Was the key fob found with Debbie? We don't know. Law enforcement said majority of the items that she purchased and, majority of the items were found at the scene. So I would assume so. I also found it interesting that the mirrors are tucked in. And initially I'm like, is that a feature of this Chrysler Pacifica? Or does this show that there was a guy there? Because I think only a guy would really do that. I'm just assuming. I know it's very, very generalized, very vague, but no, it is actually a feature of this vehicle for these like power mirrors to tuck in. So anyway, that means when the car is shut off. So the fact that it was found unlocked but turned off, I wonder if the key was in the ignition, was it out? What was going on here, right? So then officers, the officer that went in with a K9 called Zane, first noticed a red tote bag on its side. Then there was a partially burnt blue tarp. I'm just giving you clues of this riddle, okay? 10 to 15 feet further down the ravine, he noticed Debbie's body. So it's almost as if, and sorry, trigger warning, sorry for being graphic. I just feel like somebody may have used an accelerant of sorts and the lighter. I don't know what the accelerant would have been. And kind of rolled Debbie in this tarp and then unrolled her for her to tumble down this ravine or something, and then grabbing a branch. I don't know. It just makes no sense because it's a partially burnt blue tarp. It's also weird. Don't you find it weird how her jersey was completely burnt? Like, well, from what we see from what's left of that crime scene, just little bits, right? And they say in the northeastern Georgian that she was found topless. So that helps us understand when they say nude sometimes and partially nude other times. Okay, so what I can gather from the local newspaper, which you have to pay to see, oh my word, part of that now, very grateful to see all of that, and I will show you those articles. But to think that they're saying she was topless, okay, but then the top is also burnt, and it's like the tarp is partially burnt. It just is so strange. What a strange crime scene. The phone was found at the scene. Some reports say smashed, some say just found at the scene. Person, majority of the items were found at the scene. Lighter? Was the lighter found? Because there was the rumor going around for a while that a lighter wasn't found. Everything but the lighter. But I can't find an official statement like that. And the poncho? What happened to the poncho? Was that found? The visor that she was wearing, right? Mrs. Jaskell says, I'm watching from the beginning to catch up. Watching G at 2 times speed is some crazy stuff. Oh my word. Yeah. I'm reading all your theories, guys. That's the thing. She had to be alive to grab a tree. Oh man, this case. Okay, so we continue on. Now, what I always do, I know we've actually already done this. We've really analyzed this press conference, but I made some bullet points just so we can look at the important bits so we could try to understand what exactly law enforcement said at their press conference on September 30th. They said the results of the autopsy are still pending. The results of the analysis of items from the scene were also submitted to the crime lab, and those are still pending. They are now just beginning to get responses to the search warrants and subpoenas in this case to date. That was September 30th, right? We have received additional footage from a security camera from a business near the Family Dollar store. It shows Debbie got in her van at 3:09 p.m., remained in her van for 10 minutes, and then left at 3:19 p.m., heading south on Georgia 15, Highway 441, US 23. We will do map time. I drove the whole route. At 3 in the morning, guess what I was doing? Driving the whole damn route to see what on earth is going on here. Anyway, so we won't drive the whole route, but I'll show you just a little bit of map time there. The case timeline narrows to begin at 3:19 p.m. on Saturday, September 10th, and ending at 12:44 p.m. on Sunday, September 11th, at the time of discovery. Please understand that this case is very complex in nature and has a lot of questions and unknowns that aren't found in a typical death investigation. It's going to take significantly more time than the 19 days that have passed since the discovery to solve this case. So, for everyone saying, why is it taking so long? What's going on? Why not yet? Well, they did tell us it's very complex. There's a lot of questions, lots of unknowns they don't typically see in a death investigation, and it's going to take significantly more time. So I would assume significantly more time does not mean like 1 more week or whatever, right? All right. We are trying to obtain as much information as possible so that we can put together facts and evidence to support a motive and also identify a person or persons of interest. There is new information coming out in this, guys, with a timeline. Okay, we're talking about Debbie Collier at a Chick-Fil-A. What? Before the Family Dollar store? Possibly at a Waffle House after the Family Dollar store trip. And I want to tell you about Amanda Bearden's location. Very strange. The day that she rushed to the crime scene, she did not rush from home in Athens, Georgia. Oh, no, no, no. She was up north, kind of around the area by the Family Dollar store. But not looking there, of course. Everywhere else but there. Very strange. So we're gonna look. Fiona Fifi says the cop said the phone smashed. Means that it was someone she knew, because why would a stranger care what was on her phone? I think that was, are you referring to the PI that commented on this case, Jason Jensen? Right? Thank you so much. Okay. So they say it's very sensitive, and we don't want our potential person or persons of interest to be able to get a hold of this information. So that way it does not jeopardize our investigation. Amanda received the Venmo money. They still need to investigate from which device the transaction originated. They also don't know where the money is now, but they'd say she absolutely received the money. They found Debbie's phone at the crime scene. They will update everyone once they know Debbie's cause of death. They say we have served multiple search warrants on multiple different cell phone carriers. And if you do some background checking, damn, do these people have a lot of phone numbers. I know that sometimes it lists all the phone numbers you've ever had, but like, wow, Amanda's got a lot of phone numbers and email addresses. My goodness. Anyway, they say hopefully we'll be able to develop more of a timeline, a better timeline, and hopefully be able to find out more information about exactly what happened. They have not ruled anyone out. That was September 30th. Debbie, I think, still today, right? Debbie sat in her car for an additional 10 minutes after exiting the store. Right. Go, presentation. It's taking so long. Okay. Why do they think there's signs of a homicide? They answered, so far, the burns on the body. Because of the burns, we're treating this like a murder. There is no information or evidence to this point that shows that this was something random, that there was something that was not from somebody she either knew or somebody who she had some association with. We do not believe that this is a random act of violence. We do not believe that this is an act of a serial killer. We believe that this act was deliberate and personal. The purse was recovered at the scene, which of course contradicts what Amanda was saying about it. I know she can have many purses. I'm just saying there's lots of contradictions all along the way of what Amanda says and what law enforcement says. What Amanda says, what the surveillance footage shows, all this kind of stuff, you know? Okay, so she was seen traveling northbound on Georgia 15, just north of our crime scene there, which is just south of Victory Home Lane. This is a picture of her traveling northbound on Georgia 15, traveling through these cameras at 2:17 p.m. on Saturday. Do you remember that picture, you guys? We went over it. It's in all the case files. Okay, I've got a full part 1 and 2 case file in this case for you in the playlist, so go check it out if you haven't yet. It's got like literally all the footage and everything you need to see in one place. Now, the thing is, I've seen it speculated that Debbie was going really fast, like over the speed limit, because they said the speed limit's 25 miles per hour on the picture. However, on doing a drive around virtually in the area, I can see that all the signs, the speed limit signs, are 45 miles per hour. She was traveling 38 miles per hour. So she was actually traveling slower than the speed limit, not faster. But there is still a 15 to 19-minute time gap from when she was at the Tallulah Falls camera, okay, and entering the Family Dollar store. I don't know if she was sitting in her car at the time, if she went to Goats on the Roof, which is easy to get to. It would be a nice, cute place I would probably pop into. I don't know if she was like popping into places along the way. Maybe this was a day out for her. I don't know. Okay. Stefan says, I remember how he showed the picture. Yes. Sorry. Had to just clear my throat for a second. Okay. They say Tallulah Falls officer saw her vehicle at 5 p.m. where it was later found. But he said he didn't think too much of it because oftentimes people pull into that old logging road. My question would be, for what? Is it for hiking? What do they go there for? It's a very steep ravine, as we saw. You first walk in and then it gets quite steep. So it's not like the most enjoyable hike. There's not too much to see there. So why are cars pulling in there? Is it a known place where people get up to mischief or what? I don't know. Okay. They said that one can access accounts from different devices, which is why we're going through the extent of being able to determine what device that Venmo was sent on. Drug use on the report was a question. They said, so patrol deputies, when they respond to scenes like this and they don't know exactly what they have, they normally mark whatever may be applicable. In this case, because it was so questionable and there were so many unknowns when we got to the scene, they marked it as a possibility that it could be drug related. However, at this time, the investigation is not leading us to that direction. Amanda at a Family Dollar, someone asked. They said, so the tip as far as her being at Family Dollar in her initial interview, red flag, where she was talking about her mother going to Family Dollar to get supplies to help her clean her apartment. I doubt her mother's going to drive in a rental van where isn't fuel even more expensive? Even isn't the mileage charged like even more? Thank you so much, Simply Stranger. Right? So why would she drive 70 miles to go to a Family Dollar store to buy her 36-year-old daughter cleaning supplies for an apartment, which, by the way, has 8 bedrooms? There's other tenants in that apartment where Amanda was living in back and forth. That makes more sense to me because I'm like, how can the house just stand empty? How can someone afford? Stephen Collier's got lots of properties, but how can you afford to just have one house just like standing empty and Amanda can just come and go as she pleases? No. There's many other tenants. That's why. And I'm like, oh, so what are you cleaning? I don't know. That's what I see on the background checks, right? What are you cleaning? What are you cleaning? And why aren't you cleaning it yourself? 36 years old. Why is your mom going to drive 70 miles to buy you cleaning supplies? I don't get it, especially not when you ran errands the day before. My word. Okay. So they say the tip as far as her being at the Family Dollar in her initial interview, Amanda confused everyone, right? She was talking about her mother going to get the Family Dollar to get supplies to help her clean her apartment when she got back to Georgia. As far as the Family Dollar visit, I don't think that actually came from her. Then they say they went there, showed the clerk a picture of Amanda and a picture of Debbie, and the clerk said, yes, it was Debbie who was in the store. I still want to know how the hell a clerk remembers Debbie on a random Saturday at a random time where she was in the store for 2:55 to 05 to 09, 14 minutes, browsing the aisles, looking around, just paying. Why would a clerk, does she go there? Does the clerk know her? Has she seen her there before? Oh man, all these questions I have. All these questions, right? Mrs. Jaskell says, still behind, but Goats on the Roof is an amazing place to go. You can feed the goats and they're actually on the roof. Super cool. I did have a look. I did a virtual drive, looked at the website. It looks really nice. Looks like somewhere I would pop into for sure. So, yeah, feel free, guys. Share your thoughts. Think out loud. Gypsy says it's not hard to remember customers. Of course, it's not hard to remember customers, but it is a busy store. It's not the busiest place, but still, I mean, have you worked in retail? Like, you see so many people that it's weird to take note of that one person. You know what I mean? And late in the afternoon too. Later. Anyway, so we carry on, but of course they had surveillance footage and everything. So they would have shown, like, looked at the surveillance footage, shown the clerk, this lady that you helped, you see this one now, which one? What does her face look like? Then show pictures, and she said it was Debbie, right? Heather says, after your viewer went to the scene and showed us everything left behind, it's shocking to see possible pieces of evidence lying on the ground. Right? I still question if those blue gloves, are they from law enforcement, or is it part of the scene? It would probably be law enforcement, right? It's just so weird. The blue gloves are even in the trees and stuff, man. What's going on there? Goodness me. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Disc Golf Bear says she kind of stands out with her red shirt and blonde hair and visor. So all the employees, of course, also had red shirts. But yeah, she had a Georgia Bulldogs red shirt, then the blonde hair and the visor. Yes. This could be a theory. JW, Debbie had a meeting for an unknown purpose at around 3:30 p.m. She got to the area early and dropped into the Family Dollar. She stalled in the parking lot, told it was time to leave. All right. So we carry on. Susie Max says, do they have rental property out there? Not, like, I haven't seen them own property out there. I haven't seen myself on the company Debbie worked for, where she was actually the front office manager. So she's not a real estate agent and wouldn't be out there, I would assume, you know, looking at rental properties, but you just don't know. I don't know if that would be part of her job at all. But apparently on email I got, someone said there's 2 properties somewhere out there that's listed with this company, but I couldn't find it myself. All right. So I'm going to answer one more question, then I'm going to carry on. Just one more thing. Says, is it true that Andrew's father lives near the Family Dollar store? No, he lives near the Chick-Fil-A, which is where Debbie went first, in Commerce, Georgia, which is about 20 minutes away from her home. She went there first to Chick-Fil-A, then went to the Family Dollar store. And Andrew's dad lives in Commerce. Andrew's dad lives with his mother, and Andrew was living there as well, so with his grandmother, while Amanda moved to Baltimore, Maryland, to live with her brother. And then when she came back, then he moved back into the apartment as well, which is why he also words it like, we just got back 2 days ago. But he was always in Georgia. He was always there. He was just living with his grandma after there was a no contact order. But then when Amanda came back, there he was again. Wow. Rob, thank you so much. Hi, Gisela. This is for all your deep diving on this case. Great job. Thank you so much, Rob. Rob knows I've been in that rabbit hole. Okay, so thank you so much. Let's carry on. Right. So they say, does Amanda have any acquaintances in that area? I want to know. They say we can't confirm that right now. I'm sure once we start getting some of these subpoenas and search warrants back and these phone records, we'll be able to give an answer on that. We know that Amanda talked on the phone with her mother on Saturday afternoon. Steve works for a private company called the Optimist Club that private contracts Synovus Bank's parking lot to park vehicles for game day. They use that parking lot to provide parking for people coming to the game. We have confirmed that he was there from 9 a.m. till 4:06 p.m. on Saturday. A question I already have there is, I wonder what he did. Not that I'm saying he's a red flag or saying that he did anything. I'm just saying, what did he do between 4:06 and 6:01 when the 911 call was made? And did he watch the game at all? Did he watch the game? Because these are all Georgia Bulldogs fans. Even Andrew Gigarish, whatever you say his name, he's also a Georgia Bulldogs fan. So if they're all Georgia Bulldogs fans, did any of these people watch the game that day? You know? So moving along, the autopsy will help us to narrow down the time of death, help us to narrow down toxicology reports, help us to narrow down other things related to the body itself that we don't know at this time. They said the crime scene is on U.S. National Forest land. And when we do our map time and do our drive-by, you'll see that turnoff where the car was found and where into that ravine Debbie was found is literally, if you just drive a little further, the border ends for this U.S. National Forest. As you cross over it, then you get to the entrance of the Victory Home Lane. So it's very strange, right? All items were purchased. Majority of those items found at the crime scene. And Amanda moved to Georgia on September 8th, 2022, which to me is a red flag because, damn, within 2 days of you being back, why did she leave then? Was her life in danger at all? Did someone threaten her? What was she running away from? Was it Andrew? We don't know. But she left. We don't know exactly when she left. There was this big fight, and we saw Andrew on body cam, which we can look at again as well. But that was September 2021. Is that when she moved to Baltimore, Maryland? And then a year later coming back? And within 2 days, Debbie's missing and murdered? Damn. Okay. So, okay, now we've got the 1,000 viewers in here. So I'm just going to have to turn on quickly subscriber only mode. You only have to subscribe for 1 minute and then you can chat with us because that prevents naughty bots. Okay. Disgraced American woman says Steve's day job is a bank loan officer. The parking job is for his Optimus Club game day activity and gives him access to the game. Exactly. It gives him access to the games, but did he go to the game? Did he watch the game? Because he also couldn't have watched the whole game because he was at home making the 911 call at 6:01 p.m. You know what I mean? So there's driving time in between. So did he watch the first half there and then go home afterwards or what? Which would be smart to avoid all those cars leaving. You know how it goes with these games. He's also 67 years old. So that was his day job. Is it still his day job? Is he not retired? Why all the moving? Yeah. Okay. So they say again. Oh, yeah. They say this is a very complex investigation. It has lots of unanswered questions. It also has a lot of issues that you don't see in a typical death investigation. Right here, as far as this investigation goes, it seems like once we get on track with something, a curveball comes in out of nowhere. Yeah, you don't say. We all experience it that way, right? Damn, I can't imagine what the police are finding and doing. This is a very complicated case. This is a riddle. They say we are working diligently to determine motive, to find people or a person of interest, and to bring a resolution to this case for Deborah Collier and her family. If anyone has any information, do not hesitate to reach out and speak with us. My direct line is 706-839-0560. Investigator Garrison, who is my partner on this investigation, his phone number is 706-839-0559. Please contact us with any information. If anyone has had any kind of contact or has anything that might help us further our investigation. The autopsy is a 6-week time frame. Yes, this is what I was also thinking. Katie K says it might have been wise to do this all during the crime. Yes, lots of people would be at the game. Exactly. It is the perfect window of opportunity then to do something like that. Because, yeah, everyone's very busy watching the game in the area, right? Lots of supporters. Rose from Twitter at 901 Lulu. I hope I got that right. She was in the area a few weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later or so. And she said even then, like on the weekend, people are wearing their Georgia Bulldog sweatshirts. You know, there's lots of supporters there. And when it's game day, everybody's wearing it. So I just mean, yeah, it really would be wow for Debbie to leave that parking area at 3:19, meaning the crime could have happened anywhere then if we're looking at that crime scene from like 3:45 p.m. until the next day, of course, but the car was already seen there by 5 p.m. So, Disc Golf Bear says daughter moved back to protect her mom. Okay. Rotan says Motive can be as simple as boyfriend knowing mom didn't quite think he was a good guy. I mean, he did write a threatening note. So what do we have here? Let's just see. So Max lives. Okay. So we've got Amanda. We've got her boyfriend, Andrew. Very toxic relationship, very problematic. Both of them criminal records, Barry, DV, all kinds of stuff. And him, the most recent, last year. And we've done a deep dive, but I've got it available again if we need to look at that, okay? But I don't want to make the stream too long. This could go on forever. I have a lot to show you guys. But okay, so Max is his dad. Now, Max lives in Commerce, Georgia. He also has quite the rap sheet, but it's mostly for credit card fraud and theft and things like that. So Debbie was allegedly seen at a Chick-Fil-A on the same day that she visited the Family Dollar store. What? I read that in the Northeastern Georgia newsletter. And I'm like, what? So here again, I'm showing just the house. Apparently there's 8 bedrooms in this house. Okay. When I looked at background checks and the house records, they say Debbie Collier murder. 2.4K Venmo payment is very close to the sum the daughter's boyfriend owed in fines, sources say, including 2 law enforcement officers, which is so weird. That to me, it's still strange. I don't think that he would have calculated, you know what? Yeah, what I owe now is $2,385. So I'm going to just transfer that to myself. You know, they did say that the money hasn't been paid. The legal fees have not been paid. So it's not like, oh, crap, it's the same. And then you pay the legal fees. What is this? The Venmo is like the biggest curveball in this entire case. Then Andrew's dad has got this thing going on Facebook now where, let me make myself smaller. It says, help Max for attorney fees. But then it says the fundraiser is not currently accepting donations, which is kind of odd. Did you not finish the process or what's going on here? Remember that Max, Andrew's dad, lives with his mother. And then Andrew also lived there. And then Andrew's, I'm getting all the name. Andrew's mother got arrested last year in July. She started serving her sentence in December last year. Anyway, so they living there with a granny. And then when Amanda moved back to the area, Andrew moved back in with her, which was violating his parole, not allowed to do. But anyway, here, his dad says, to help cover the cost of the attorney that I got for my son, to pay for polygraph exam, investigators, okay, to gather all the exculpatory evidence to prove that a shadow of a doubt that he had anything to do with the murder of Debbie Collier. Max Geiger, October 12th, 2022. So he started this for a polygraph exam, to cover the attorney costs, to gather evidence, to prove. Well, that's what the police are doing, number 1. Number 2, it's not even accepting donations. So I don't understand it. And number 3, why are you doing that? If he's not guilty at all, why are you lawyering up already? Maybe people just do that to be safe, but I'm like, damn. Okay. KTK says we need a family tree of everyone's criminal past. Yeah, that's where the rabbit hole begins. That's what I was trying to do yesterday. And I'm like, oh my word. It just goes on and on. So here, MMA 125. If you're watching, you're unblocked now. We blocked you at first because I thought it was like literally a troll, like those ones in the Gabby Petito case that pretend to be Brian Laundrie. But no, this is actually Andrew. He verified it with Annie Elise from 10 to Life, sent her on the table without covering anything up or redacting anything. Just here we go. Social security number, cards, identification, everything. Here, this is me. But then when she asked, can we do like a call? He's like, no. Then he chickened out of that. But anyway, he's been commenting on lots of YouTube channels. Thank you to everyone who sent me screenshots of all this so that I can see at least some of them. There were some on my channel as well, but mostly just laughing emojis. So MMA 125 said, Atmos Harmony, well, go do that. You definitely seem angry. And then I understand. He says, I'm just reading some of them and they're not quite in context, but he says, I understand. Andrew Geiger has the body of a Greek god. So I see why you might be jealous. Okay. He's complimenting himself. Right. And then she said, dude, you are far from being a Greek god. More like a Greek egomaniac. Why are you still coming to my channel? You have nothing relevant to tell me about all this going on in your life or answer any of my questions. And unless you do speak about this, then all you're doing, Andrew, is being my troll. And then Andy Bay says, why did you do it, man? And then he says, Andrew replies, have you not been watching the news? I'm innocent. Yeah, we've been watching the news. Oh my word, Gypsy. Yes, say it. I just want to know how many meals she ordered. Wish they would release the Chick-Fil-A footage. Me too. I also wonder, this is part of the questions that are coming up, right? If the house key was in the blue flower pot. Is he here? You're like, he's here? I don't know. Is he here? Okay. Maybe he can answer some questions if he's here. So then Andy said, if this is really you, you're damn good at MMA. Had huge potential with that. Watched all of your videos on YouTube. Very impressive. I wasn't accusing you. It was just a throwaway comment to see if you would reply. Anyway, who do you think killed Debbie in your opinion? And he says, thanks. I want to start fighting again soon. It's hard as an amateur to have consistent funds to support yourself until you make it pro. As for Amanda's mom, I have no clue. My best guess is either a serial killer type of thing or maybe she was having an affair. I don't want to say that, but I don't think it's a coincidence that she took the whole week off from work before this happened. I wonder if she did take the whole week off before this happened. And if so, was it in preparation for Amanda moving back or what? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. This is just stuff he says. We don't know. We just have to take it with a grain of salt. Goodness me. Okay. So now we get to Amanda. She moved back to Georgia on Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Andrew Geiger says that Debbie took a whole week off from work before she went missing. How long did Amanda live in Maryland with her brother, and why did she move there in the first place? Was it because of the no contact order? Is it to get away from Andrew? I would assume so, but I don't know. Friday, September 9th, Amanda says that they have dinner, as in her, Debbie. And I'm assuming, I don't know if it's her and Andrew and Debbie. I think her and Debbie, they run some errands together and then they go home separately. That's also the same day that Andrew says Debbie brought them lunch. Now, Saturday, September 10th, Amanda spoke to Debbie on the phone that afternoon, yet she said that her mother only left with her debit card and license. So how do you know? You know what I mean? She left with only her debit card and her license. Everything is left behind. But then you're phoning, you're having calls in the afternoon. At 3:17 p.m., Amanda receives the Venmo. At 6:01 p.m., her and Steve report Debbie missing. Okay. Now, that's quite hectic. BDSM hookup with a fire play is the reason for the fire. Can't take that off the table. You just never know. But that is scary. Where did I see that? I was doing a whole lot in the rabbit hole, looking at background checks of everyone I possibly could, email addresses, finding everything I could. And there was one photographer linked to some kind of email address that does do fire and topless photography type stuff. So that I did find interesting. You just never know. Okay. Lorraine says, I wouldn't even remember what I left with. Amanda's very observant. Now, even to think of, how did Amanda know if she saw her mother, and she maintains she only saw her mother the day before, right? The day before they had dinner, then ran some errands together. I would think it's the other way around. You always run errands and then have dinner together. Debbie also brought her and Andrew lunch. Okay. And then the next thing we know is dinner and errands. Now, how do you know the next day because that was the initial statement. We don't forget what she initially said before we got the surveillance footage and everything. No, she only left with her driver's license and debit card. But then you're having calls with her in the afternoon. America True Crime, was there life insurance on Debbie? I also ask myself that. So let's just see I just want to see, what am I talking about here? Oh, yeah. At 6:01, her and Steve report Debbie missing. And then Amanda calls 911 again the next day. So actually for herself, she calls twice that next day. She gets the approximate location of the vehicle and arrives quickly. And then she's hysterical when she spots her mom's vehicle. But now listen to this, you guys. Just listen to this. Okay, are you hearing this? If she came from Rabin, which is north, Family Dollar Store direction, and this is from the police report, we will look at it, okay? Just write this down. So on Saturday, when Debbie goes missing, Amanda is in Debbie's house with her stepdad, and they're making the 911 call to report Debbie missing. So at some point, Amanda must have left to go to Rabin. She also called 911 twice on Sunday morning, September 11th, and then headed out, going north. Now, if that's what the police report says where she came from, because she arrived very quickly within 20 minutes. It didn't take her an hour or an hour and a half to get there. It was like, oh, there she is all of a sudden and hysterical. If she left Athens, Georgia to drive to Rabin to look for her mom in a Walmart and an Ulta, not the Family Dollar Store, weird, you would have passed the vehicle. You would have passed the car. You would have literally driven past the car. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh my word, it just drives me mad. So if she works for Habitat for Humanity, they are open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Saturday. I just put it in there so that we all know, because there is a Habitat for Humanity. And yes, it is near that Family Dollar Store. Yes, that would make the most sense. There are some others, but they're more to the west and further away. So that one would make sense if she did start working there. Anyway, but then on Saturday, Debbie was only seen on the cameras going in that direction at 2:17 p.m. So I don't think she was going to Habitat for Humanity, which is what's been speculated before. How is she certain that the Venmo came from her mother? Is it out of habit? Was her mother enabling her behavior? Was her mother giving her money? Or was it from conversations they had that day? Because here's the actual, from what I see on Fox News, because that other little snippet they show us is like self-made ones. You know what I mean? Like you make things for the news. Here it says Steve Collier paid Amanda Bearden. Steve Collier, because it's obviously Steve's account, okay? So it could come from any device. Yes, maybe she had the details and could send herself the money. I don't know. But what's weird is that Steve he didn't mention the payment. He didn't mention the money. He just relayed, oh my word, my stepdaughter says that she got a text message. He didn't say Venmo. He didn't say transaction, a text message from Debbie saying they're not going to let me go. And that's all it said, but it's not all it said. So for me, there's a lot of lying going on here. Okay. Now, the Venmo. Oh, I could analyze it all day. Don't you guys think, just as a possibility, just think about this for a second. They are not going to let me go. Love you. There's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. Okay. What if that message was from Steve? I'm just going to put it out there for a second as another option. What if Steve sent the money to Amanda? What if Steve sent this message because he was parking cars at the game and saying they're not going to let me go, meaning I can't get home in time for the game to start. They're not going to let me go. 3:17 p.m. They're not going to let me go. Love you. There's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. But that would imply that he knew Debbie's not home. So that would be interesting as well. Anyway, what do you think? Yeah, he called it a text. Disc Golf Bear says, yep. Yes, Sherry, we mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. Debbie's celebration of life is today. If you're just joining now, welcome. I hope that you will start at the beginning later so you don't miss out on everything that we've already said in today's stream. But this makes sense, right? Angela says, ooh, that makes sense. Just think about it. Just think about it, guys. Georgia Bulldogs fans. Steve's a fan. Debbie's a fan. Amanda's a fan. And Andrew's a fan. How do we know Andrew's a fan? Because if you deep dive all his social media stuff and everything, from everything I saw, I can't remember where it is now, but somewhere there on Facebook, there's like, he did a painting once of a Georgia Bulldogs type of sign. He's a fan. He has a Georgia Bulldogs cap on. Okay, he has the cap on in his body cam footage. Because that's the same G that Debbie has on her face on a picture that's going to be on this presentation in a moment. I'm just saying, if Steve actually paid Amanda, that's going to make so much more sense to me to say, at 3:17 p.m. because by then you want to be like, yes, I'm going to leave around 20 past 3 or half past 3 so I could be home for kickoff. Meet me there. The whole family's meeting there. They're all watching the game. That would make sense. But then when he says, they are not going to let me go, love you, there's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. How do we know that Steve wasn't giving Amanda money or for giving her? She's staying in his house. He owns that house. He owns all the houses, right? He owns the house that she was living in on and off, on and off. We don't know. Maybe he had major empathy for her. Maybe he's like, shame, she needs this money for who knows what. I don't know. Well, Coastal Butterfly says, Steve didn't sound like he would say love you to Amanda. He clarified, no, stepdaughter. Well, I could speculate there too. Because, yeah, he could clarify, no, that's my stepdaughter. But he could love her very much. Right? Disculpe. Steve doesn't seem very tech savvy. It's just so weird. He didn't mention the money. But just the they not going to let me go would make so much more sense. And at that exact time is when Debbie's phone is turned off. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. If Debbie was she pulled out of that parking area and then turned the car around and then stopped again. That's the time when the Venmo was sent. Maybe she stopped to look at the notification and like, what the hell? So Steve, just speculate for a second. Steve is sending Amanda this money. Oh my word. Like, he's sending her the money and then turns off her phone. Maybe she's really pissed off at that point. We don't know. There's so many variables in this case. Who does she cross paths with next? We don't know. Yes, karma is a bitch. That's what I was sort of saying without trying to say it. Yes. I don't think anyone can be ruled out. Not even Steve, says Katie K. Yes, Steve and Debbie, Seagate 1. Steve and Debbie did have a joint Venmo account. But it says Steve Collier paid Amanda Bearden on the thing. So yes, they had a joint account. Yes. Why would Steve tell the police that they won't let Debbie go? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we carry on. That was just a side speculation. It's just a side note of like, what is going on? Now, let's quickly go over the 911 calls, just the pertinent points, right? At 6:01 p.m., September 10th, 2022, Steve Collier makes the 911 call. He says he came home, his wife wasn't home. Her driver's license is still there. Now, why is she driving around without a driver's license? We don't know. Okay. He said, her daughter's here. Can you send someone over here? Debbie has no medical issues, but then, of course, Amanda says she's got back pain and can't walk far. So he said no medical issues. Daughter says the purse is still home with her driver's license. That's weird. The phone is gone. Sent her daughter a text about 2 hours ago. He says my stepdaughter, to correct that it's not my daughter, it's my stepdaughter. Steve talks about a text message and not a Venmo message or transaction. He just returned home. He said he was parking cars till around 4:30, but it was, according to law enforcement, until 4:06. So even if it's till around 4:30, you're getting home at like 10 to 5 or 5 o'clock. What are you doing for that hour and 1 minute? I don't know. The rented van was gone. He thought Debbie was shopping for food because she normally shops for food on a Saturday. And then he said her purse and credit card and driver's license are at home. Mm-hmm. So that's what was there, okay, from Stephen Collier's 911 call. Then he said she went to bed last night around 9 p.m. That's how he worded it. Initially, I thought he went to bed at 9 and then this fighting still carried on. But no. Amanda says that her and Debbie had dinner together, ran errands, and then they went home separately. So it's still weird to say they went home separately. Then who's fighting at home? Especially if it's a younger female. Who's this other younger female then? Because the neighbors said that they heard fighting often in the evenings and on weekends when a younger female came over. But Amanda wasn't living there for we don't know how long. but maybe even a year. Maybe 6 months, 10 months, I don't know. But who's the young female then that comes over and then everybody's fighting? Who's that? Or is it Amanda? And if so, why does Amanda say they had dinner, ran errands, and went home separately? Oh my goodness. Okay. Steve says Debbie went to bed around 9. That was the last time he saw her. He also went to bed. The dispatcher asked 3 times if the stepdaughter saw Debbie that day. And in that question, he says, sorry, come again. Sorry, say again. Sorry, what? Trying to control a dog. But we can't hear a dog, and the size of the dog in the pictures we've seen is tiny. So I don't understand that one. I don't understand avoiding that question or not hearing that question or this controlling a dog. We can't hear a dog whining, growling, barking, nothing. Gypsy says, right, G, I've been saying this the whole time. Okay. Yes. Gypsy says, who's the younger female that's there every weekend? It doesn't make sense. That's the thing, because Amanda wasn't living there for, I don't know the time frame. I can see she made a Google review at the place, which I'm going to get to on map time. The very same place where the Chick-Fil-A is, where Debbie was on that day. Amanda had been to that same place 10 months before to a dentist. It's like a dentures and implants place. So that to me means they do know that location a little bit. You know, is that where their dentist is or what? Anyway, that was 10 months ago, which to me means, okay, 10 months ago, she was then still in Georgia or what? And then after that moved, we don't know how long she lived in Baltimore, Maryland. But if the neighbors are saying, yeah, in the evenings and then on weekends, a younger female comes over and there's a lot of screaming and fighting, who's the younger female? Who's that? Just makes me like crazy. Oh my word, what is going on here? Okay, so nobody's seen her since last night, is what he said. He asked the man in the background what time the message was sent, and she said about 2 hours ago. They won't let me go, is all the message said. He says that's all the message said. Why doesn't he see it on his phone? Why can't he see the Venmo then? Or why is he leaving out the rest of the message? I don't know. Steve says he doesn't know the plates of the rental and says the car was a Pacifica or something, a black van from Enterprise. Now, I know I'm generalizing here, but don't guys know cars? Wouldn't you know? Yeah, that's a Chrysler Pacifica. I mean, when I need to identify a car, I'm like straight to Mr. Grizzly. What do you think this car is? Like, that is a Mazda. That is we call it Nissan. You guys say Nissan. That's a Nissan. I'm like, okay. So he says he thinks it was a Pacifica or something, a black van from Enterprise. Now, I would love to know, when did that rental agreement start? Because I know her car was in the repair shop. Was it just for a day? Was it for the weekend? When was she going to fetch the car? How long did she have the rental? Why do I want to know? It's because it's very strange that the time when Debbie has the rental is the time when she's going 70 miles up north. Almost speculating like that's the one time you can just, like, I don't know, go off in a different car. I don't know. It just is strange, right? Oh my word. Fonda says, law enforcement knows a lot of answers to our questions, so they'll put it together. Well, we hope so, right? Exactly. Sherry says he literally parks cars. That's a good point. He literally parks cars, but he's being very vague about this car. I don't know. It's like a Pacifica or something, a black van from Enterprise, doesn't know the plates, doesn't know exactly what car, what? But then Amanda, I mean, she can just take one look at that car as soon as she arrives at the scene and she's hysterical. She's falling apart. She's literally like, oh my word, that's my mom's car, without even knowing yet. One would think you'd be happy in that moment. Like, oh my word, you found my mom's car. This is so cool. What happened? Where is she? Have you found her? But she's hysterical the minute she sees it. Why? Goodness me. Okay, so we're going to be here for a little while, everyone, because we've still got things to work through. So they say, they ask for a description of her. It says 5'5", 150 pounds, blondish hair. And then the dispatcher says, was she going to someone's house or? And then Steve says, that's a good question. He thought that she was out shopping for food. She usually shops for food on Saturdays. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be shopping for food though, right when kickoff starts though, right? I'm just saying, on Saturdays, what time? What time does she usually? If she's not home when you get home, and you say you just got home. So if you're getting home at between 5 and 6, You think that she's out shopping for food at that time? I highly doubt it. If she's a Georgia Bulldogs fan, she was wearing a jersey that day. Huh? Yes, this is a volunteer job for the Optimist Club. Gypsy says, okay, but they've said she wasn't hysterical until they brought up the body. Well, we're going to read the police report. Ella Quince, thank you so much. Are you going to be covering the Surigliano case? I'm not sure. I can only cover one case at a time because of how my brain operates. It's just, I'm very focused on this right now. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I would be, Lacey Fontenot says, I would be extremely hysterical if my mom's car was somewhere random and she was missing. Good point. Possibly. I'm just saying, I don't know. We all react differently, right? So maybe that's how she reacted. I would feel like, whoa, if my mom's missing and there's her car, like, oh my word, what? You found the car? Have you found her? Like, she didn't know what was happening yet, according to the police report, but we will look at that together. Okay. So we're also going to look at the incident report, the call logs report, map time, and the Northern Georgian articles. That's what we're still doing after this presentation. So he says her daughter came over with that strange message and went up to her bedroom and then found out her driver's license and credit card are still here. And he said, not to our knowledge, they don't know. He doesn't think that she has any money or other cards on her. Okay. Now we look at the 911 call with Diane Shirley, who is Debbie Collier's sister. This was on Sunday, September 11th at 11:30 a.m. Okay. Her niece told Debbie, her niece told her that Debbie was missing. So that's Amanda told her that Debbie was missing. She's really worried about her sister. Amanda told her that Debbie was in an accident about a month ago where she was following a truck. A paint can hit Debbie's car and the paint went everywhere. The driver was trying to convince her not to tell the police because he was out on parole. Amanda told her that it was her and Steve who filed the missing persons report. Now, note this. Debbie was in a crash like that 4 months prior. So not a month ago, 4 months ago. A metal item fell off the roof of a GMC Savannah van and hit Debbie's 2020 Ford Ranger driver's side. This man was cited for driving without a license. His name is Miguel Martinez, and operating a vehicle without securing the load. He's not part of Georgia's parole system. He had 12 months parole probation 6 years prior. And there was a plea deal and all of that for that. He'd never been in prison. He wasn't part of the parole system. So all of that is very strange to be calling Debbie's sister and being like, Auntie Shirley, let me tell you, my mom's missing. Your sister's missing. Also, and then Diane's like, what do you think happened? And she's like, well, here, let me tell you this story. That's so strange, right? Yeah, it was while driving, so not set up. Disc Golf Bear says, why would Amanda wait 2 hours before telling Steve about the cryptic Venmo? So strange. And how did Steve not see it on his phone? Yeah. Katie says, what if it ends up being a total stranger unaffiliated with the family? That is still a possibility. That's why this case is very complicated. And this could all just be lots of coincidences, lots of things happening, lots of things. Everyone's doing something. Everyone's very independent, doing their own thing on the day, right? Book Girl says, but Debbie had a card in her pocket in the dollar store video. That video is so strange. The dollar store video, where there's this purse on the side, and the way it's flinging around, it looks pretty empty, right? They're just if you're a lady, you know what I mean. Like she doesn't have the whole world in that purse. But of all things, reaches for the card in her pocket. What? It was just so strange. Anyway, so yeah, Miguel Martinez. The story that Amanda decided to tell Diane isn't the story unless that's what Debbie told her. I don't know. You know, what if Debbie told Amanda that and then got a rental car? And I don't know. It's just surely the car would have already gone in for repairs 4 months ago then. They probably wouldn't wait 4 months, right? And then send it in? Sarah Claire says, a lot of fluff. Mm-hmm. Yes. In JW says, in the telephone calls, Diane or sister has a negative vibe about Amanda, and Steve has a negative inflection about Debbie. Yeah, she was saying Amanda's not really communicating very well with him. So, those are the notes. Okay, we carry on. I just really want to have a sip of tea. Okay. The 911 call from Amanda Bearden. It actually, I was always wondering about this time. What time was this? Because she made two calls. The first one was at 8:30 in the morning. So there was the 601 one that was Steve calling, right? But yet she starts this call by saying, I filed a missing persons report yesterday, and she asked to speak to the detective. But actually, it was Steve. You know what I mean? But anyway, September 11th, 8:30 a.m. I filed a missing person report yesterday, asked to speak to a detective. She wants an update. She said she's not in a clear mental state because her mother's missing. She wants to talk to detectives to see if there's something she can do. She has the rental agreement number. That's the only thing that she has to offer. She has this rental agreement number. Maybe they can trace the GPS unit. So she says it twice. Maybe they can trace it. The dispatcher tells Amanda that they have a bolo out for Debbie and everyone has their eyes peeled. In response, Amanda says, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here, but I do. Do I need to hire a private detective? Because I'm not trying to be ugly or anything, and I know you don't know everything. I thought that was interesting. I know you don't know everything, but why isn't what I've asked for being done? Damn, this is like the next morning. Why isn't the GPS in her van being traced? Do I need a private detective to do that? Okay, let me just check if everything's going fine here. There's quite a few people here. Do we need slow mode at all, everyone? Yes. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that, everyone. My bad. Let's just slow it a little bit. I think it's getting hectic. Caroline says, I have a top suspicion. Skipping that. Are we even sure it's Debbie in the Family Dollar? We know a person with a card and with her hair and makeup like hers when Debbie is not unique looking. Right? Jamie Loon says, who says hire a PI? I mean, it's quite odd to ask a 911 dispatcher, should I hire a PI? I don't know. It's just like, it's almost like, man, I have to be so careful with all my speculations. It just seems like she knows where the car is and it's like, why can't you track it? Why aren't you tracking the car? Like, why can't you find the car? Like, what's taking so long? Do I need a PI? What's going on over here? Like, whoa, lady, it doesn't happen that quick, you know? I don't know. It just, she's like, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here. I do need to hire private. Do I need to hire a private detective? Because I'm not trying to be ugly or anything, but I know you don't know everything. But why isn't what I've asked for being done? Why isn't the GPS in her van being traced? Do I need a private detective to do that? I mean, they were doing it. They said there's a bolo out and all of that. And the bolo and everyone's eyes peeled, that did not comfort Amanda at all. She sounded like her breathing got really hectic and she was getting really anxious about it. Like, no, 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 no. We have to track that vehicle now, right? Katie K says, I say it's not her in a Family Dollar, and that's a hill I'm willing to die on. And I was sitting here early morning hours this morning looking at the surveillance, and I'm just like, those shoes, man. Those shoes, the shoes, the hands, the physiology, the getting the card out of a pocket like a dude. I don't know. It just is so strange to me. But I'm not trying to go off on the deep end here. I'm just like, it wouldn't shock me, you know? So then there was another call at 9:40. So remember this previous one was at 8:30, and then an hour and 10 minutes later, Amanda called again. She said, "Can I speak with Colonel Johnson? He just called me and I guess I have some more information for him." And she said, "Oh, Sergeant Johnson, I'm sorry. Amanda wants him to call her back." She thought about it and she has Debbie's iCloud information. Okay. So instead of like, I'm just saying, like, to say, do I need a private detective? Huh? So you can track the GPS, but then she's like, I thought about it. Actually, I've got her iCloud information. Correct me if I, this is how she words it. Correct me if I'm wrong. If the phone is turned off, it would still track her. I don't know. That sounds to me like fishing for information. I have her Apple ID and what I thought was the password, but the password isn't working. Stefan, you're making me laugh. Colonel. Yes, she asked for Colonel Johnson. Deb Ann says, you notice her head is always down and under a visor, like not to look at a camera. Sure, you guys, if I wanted to conspire, I would conspire over that surveillance footage in the dollar store. Yeah. So, although the police are like, no, that's her. That's her. But I'm like, are you sure that's her? Man. Disc Golf Bear says, Amanda, over the top kindness on the call was weird. Seems you would be upset and not worried about being rude. She has a different phone. Says Jamie Loons. Okay. So here they say, I have Apple ID and what I thought was the password, but the password isn't working. I don't know if you have technology or whatever, but I do have. I don't know. I mean, maybe they can call me back. Okay, thank you. That was interesting. Hilarious says, Andrew is short enough to be Debbie. I agree. Lex Luthor says, and what I thought was the password. I got vibes that she knew the password to Debbie's iCloud account and later changed it after making changes or deleting things or sending the Venmo. Very possible. James Jameson says erratic driving in the car park like someone not used to the vehicle. Also very possible. Thank you to all of you who are lurking, listening, doing housework, cooking, I don't know, doing whatever you're doing and just listening in. Thank you so much for listening in. I really appreciate it. So now I say all her lies. I put the 3 and a 6 at the bottom there because she's 36 years old. She said her and Debbie were at the Family Dollar and later said that was an earlier time. And she said she knew that her mom was going to the Family Dollar store to buy cleaning supplies to clean her apartment. That Family Dollar? You knew that she was going to that one. Now, could you please tell us why that one? Why would she drive 70 miles to go to a Family Dollar store to buy you cleaning supplies for your apartment where there's 8 rooms and other tenants and you're cleaning the place, but can't you buy your own damn cleaning stuff? I don't get it. And you ran errands the day before. Oh my word. Andrew says Debbie brought them lunch on Friday, September 9th. Amanda says they had dinner together, then ran some errands, and then they went home separately. But neighbors heard a commotion at the house that night. She said her mom left home carrying only her driver's license and debit card. No, also phone and purse and everything else. She says she called her mother on Saturday, September 10th, 2022 in the afternoon. What was the conversation? She says her mom Venmoed her and left a cryptic message, which scared her and worried her. She tried to call her mom but couldn't reach her. Then why wait 2.5 hours to make the call to 911? Thank you, Berenice Rivas. Love this picture. Why, if you're scared and worried and trying to reach her, and I hope there's proof of that. I'm sure there will be with all the search warrants. All like, did you try to call her? And what happened? And why is her phone turned off? And how did you know the wording is turned off again? I pay attention to the words, not her phone died. Her phone got taken, stolen, smashed. No, her phone was turned off. But if her phone's turned off, you can still track the location, right? That's what she's asking on the 911 call. That's almost like, oh, crap. You guys can track that, right? That's what it sounded like to me. Again, I'm just speculating. And yeah, if anyone's like, why are you speculating? I'm just speculating. We want justice for Debbie. We want to know what the hell happened to her. Oh, my word. Okay. Yes. Marie says, Grizzly, that's the question. Why so far to the Family Dollar? Exactly. Deb Ann says, who uses a lighter to clean? Let's get a lighter, paper towels, a tarp, and a poncho. and a reusable tote bag to clean a house, as if she didn't even go and buy the cleaning stuff. So all of it is just like, no, no, no. Goodness me. Okay. So, yes, why wait 2.5 hours to make the call to 911? And how did she know to drive to Rabin to look for Debbie? On Sunday, when she came to the crime scene, she came from Rabin, north, there, near the Family Dollar store. Why? How did she know to go there? And if you knew to go there because you knew Debbie was going to the Family Dollar store, why didn't you tell everyone that? Why didn't you say that? What and also while you're on the way, did you not see her car parked right there? That's weird. Or how did you miss the car? Were you maybe she was crying, hysterical on her way, didn't see the car. I don't know. But if you're looking for your mom and looking for that car, sure. To drive right past it, come from Rabin all the way back down, and then be like, oh my word, that's her car. Okay. Wow. So this is from 1 day ago that Amanda posted this, and she said, I love you, gorgeous. I don't know. That's it's an interesting way to grieve. I'm just saying. It's not bad. I'm just like, oh, that's what she said. I love you, gorgeous, with a picture from with her and her mom. She says she drove around and went to all the places that she thinks Debbie would have gone to. Walmart, Ulta. But she never mentions the Family Dollar store. Why? Why didn't you say, I drove around and went to all the places that I think she would have gone to? I started at the Family Dollar store. And then I tried everything else. Walmart, Ulta, everywhere else. Also, why Ulta? Why would Debbie drive all the way up north there to go to a Walmart and Ulta? There's places all around her house. Oh, yeah. This was from 10 months ago. It's a Google review that Amanda left that says, one of the doctors was super rude me. And conveniently enough, I'm the very last person left waiting. Not to mention, I wasn't given any medication. Now, that exact address is in Commerce, Georgia. What else is in Commerce, Georgia? At that same place, the Chick-Fil-A, where Debbie was seen, according to the northeastern Georgian newspaper. She was seen at a Chick-Fil-A. The police apparently have surveillance of this before she made it to the Family Dollar store. Kathy Rupright. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, G, for all your hard work and keeping us up to date. And thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Goodness. Sarah Claire says, lots of people lurking, G. Lots of people lurking. I hope everybody's taking notes. Because, yeah, this is like 36 hours in a rabbit hole. Like, really. It's already been weeks of in this rabbit, but like, I really went in. I'm like, okay, let's figure all this out. So finding all this stuff. Now we get to some interesting stuff. We're going to do map time, and you're going to see lots of things. So you better hang in there for that. Now here we have Mr. Andrew Gargarich. I found his Twitter is Wrestler Drew. Now you can see it's from 2013. Okay, so he's 27 years old now. So 16, 17, 18 in the time when all these tweets are. I screenshotted some of them. He says, I really need to get some sleep tonight. I'm not even going to unfollow her because I would not give a F about it. People are immature after a relationship. My ex followed me on Instagram, so I followed back. The next day, she unfollowed me. He says, I'm a future serial killer. And I'm like, damn, bro. Shouldn't have put that out there. It's going to bite you in the ass right now. He said, I'm a future serial killer. Some folks just saw my other side. And he says, next time, he says, although I'm happy my best friend's a drug dealer. And he says, next time I get home from practice and my sister's being a bitch, I'm going to slap the shit out of her instead of, wait, I can't read that myself. Instead of buying weed for her. And then in the body cam footage, we see he says, I've never taken a drug in my life. Oh, my word. Oh, that's him running, by the way. That's him running. M says, I love rabbit hole ideas, especially to look up where and what and whom. Oh, man. One of the Grizzlies allowed me to have access to a background checker. Oh, did I go down some rabbit holes? The Aussie Mozzie says, I can't get past the lack of punctuation in the text from Debbie compared to this review. The review definitely did have. There's no punctuation, but at least there's capitals in between. I just want to quickly go back here and just see this. Wait, it would be here. Hello, where is it? Nope. Yeah, there. There's also no punctuation on Andrew's dad's statements here, what he wrote here. So I don't know. Maybe people just don't use it all that much. But yes. April B12 says, WTF, that's Andrew wrote this? That's Andrew who wrote this. Yes. This is him. And it's not just me finding the name on Twitter. It's from the background checker and then using all kinds of software tools to look up accounts that are linked to email addresses. And this is what came up. This is his account. He hasn't posted for a very long time. But here he said, I'm a future serial killer. He said, so some folks saw my other side. And I'm like, huh. He said, F the police. Really missing my friends right now. So keep on hating. Hate is on my motivation. Riding in the car. So there's pictures of him. Oh boy. He's got the note that he wrote there, which was in, I believe, May of 2021. Have a nice life, you lying ass. Itch. Don't ever contact me again. If you or your family ever come near me again, I will hurt them. P.S. I'm not stupid. Here's your something toy tag, or I don't know what that says. So yeah, and the pictures that you can see of him, he's an amateur. Don't forget to say amateur, because he's loving it when everyone's saying, wow, he's an MMA fighter. Amateur MMA fighter. Hasn't fought since 2018. Okay. And so this amateur MMA fighter is also a DV dude, otherwise known in this community as a baby boy. Still lives with his grandma. So does his dad, who likes to box women, as you can see here. There's the marks on Amanda. Now, she doesn't have a clean record herself. She's also got battery charges and DV for other boyfriends, where she was the perpetrator, allegedly. But yeah, look at this guy. So moving right along. And this is not defamation or slander. It's looking at it's looking at his social media. It's right here. It's his note, his pictures, his results, his crimes, what he said. That's it. Now the crime scene pictures. I don't know what the hell's going on in this picture right next to me. I don't know what that is. I just zoomed into some of them. You could see on the right-hand side, there's a piece of the tarp, which is so weird. This crime scene makes no sense. Sweet Dream says, baby boy. Yes. This is tiny baby boy. Okay. So we've got a little piece of jersey and a little bit of tarp and this friggin' root ball of a tree, and then it looks like a little cave in there, and then it's all charred at there. It's so weird. And then this. What is this? This at first to me looked like, is it a bottle top or whatever? But if you look at the size of the leaves and everything around it, it's probably like a pot plant, a pot for a pot plant. I don't know what's going on here. This is I have not seen this photo before, but it was from the Northeastern Georgian newspaper. So there's that. What is that? I don't know what's going on here. Also, don't you think it's weird that her jersey is completely burnt and her abdomen has been charred? And wow, what they describe is just so strange. But then there's these little bits of paper towel. Like paper towel would burn in a second. But there's this paper towel that looks like it's just burnt on the side. You know how much effort that takes? I just mean to burn it just a little bit on the side and then it extinguishes? How is that? Why? Jamie Loon said Debbie was inside the tree and ran out. Yeah, what is that? Yeah. Target practice on a bucket, says someone. Could be. It might be unrelated, but this is from the Northeastern Georgian newspaper. from the pictures they showed. Kimberly Velpe says, so who's his best friend? The drug dealer, and I would like to know where he lives. Do you know? I don't know, but I would like to know. JW says, I do not believe that she unalived herself. Me neither. Because of the fire, the charring. We also don't know to what level the charring was or what this person tried to do. But it does seem like, to me, with this little cave type event here and the way the roots are charred, it's as if someone shoved her in there and then put the tarp over the entrance of this and then made an explosion of sorts. Right? Because the tarp is also like partially burnt. I don't know what's going on. Yes, the plastic pot from the potted plant, like you buy them. Tom N, nice to see you. Thank you so much. You say maybe those rubber gloves pulled some arm hair out. The rubber gloves are so strange that I don't know. Is it law enforcement that just left it behind like that? Why would they do that? Maybe they do. It probably is, right? Otherwise, they would have taken it. I don't know what the actual size of this is. This is just how the picture is. You can see like a barcode that's been stripped off the side. And based on all that, I would assume it's like a little pot, right? Okay, Black Pony, you've said this a lot, like a million times. We see it, right? We see it, guys. We see it. We don't know that for sure. Question, please. Did they release the autopsy report? No, they did not. Today is Debbie's celebration of life. Law enforcement is saying, apparently, to a radio station that they're releasing information after that. What that means, I don't know. Does it mean today? Does it mean this weekend? Does it mean Monday, Tuesday? Week? When? I don't know. But no, they did not. Richard says, sloppy law enforcement, not good for nature. All right. So here's pictures that I'm just like, wow, this scene is just very scary and would make me think that this person knows the area. I literally emailed the Victory Home Lane Rehab and asked them if anyone escaped on Saturday. Because I'm like, if it's right next to this, if someone knows this area or this is a place where people meet up and get high or something, I don't know what's going on here. It just seemed like it feels like someone, whoever did this, would know about this area. Not? It's a very random area to go in, especially under the tree like that. Questions. Now, I've got so many. I could have written this all day long, okay? Stefan says, that's the weirdest crime scene I've ever seen. Me too. It is so weird. It feels very, I don't know, culty, witchcrafty, very strange, sinister. Or someone just completely out of their mind or high or I don't know what. I don't know. It's very strange. Okay. So, law enforcement will hold a press conference to say they've been working very hard and they can't release any info to protect the investigation. You're probably right. But we shall see. It is about, the time is about now when they said the autopsy should be complete. So, we don't know. Question, did anyone in this family watch the Georgia Bulldogs game that day? How long did Debbie have this rental car for and how long was she going to have it for? Why on the day that she has a rental does she drive that far? What is the secret? I feel like there's a lot of family secrets going on here. A lot of things. Everyone's doing something, you know? I'll get to that in a moment. So they say Debbie was dressed for the game. Sun visor, Georgia Bulldogs jersey. Did the family plan to watch the game together? Also, to wear a sun visor, but then buy a rain poncho and tarp. Wow, I know it can be all kinds of weather on one day, but like, damn. That she was preparing for all kinds of weather. It rained in the morning, was not forecast to rain that afternoon, was not raining at that time when she bought the stuff. So that's so strange, right? And then, what did Steve do between 4:06 p.m. and 6:01? Just so we know. What happened there? They are not going to let me go. Who are they? And why would Debbie or Steve need to specify that there's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door? Why do they need to specify there's a key to the house? What the hell else could the key be for? There's a key what? To the boat? To the lawnmower? To the golf cart? There's a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. Why did Debbie drive 70 miles to buy random items at a family dollar store? What did Amanda and Andrew do on Saturday, September 10th? What did they do? Where was Andrew? I specifically want to know where was he the whole day Saturday? Because Amanda was there at Steve's house. We didn't hear Andrew in the background. We don't know of Andrew being there. Where the hell was he? I mean, for all we know, he could have been there in the ravine all night. We don't know. Anyway, does Amanda acknowledge the fight on Friday night, and was she involved? Is she the young female that comes over, then they fight, or not? Which other young female would come over to the house in the evenings and on weekends, often fighting? Why and when did Amanda move to Maryland, and why did she decide to come back? Who are the other occupants of the house that Amanda lives in on and off? And what do they know? If cars are often seen pulling into that old logging road, what for? Catherine Martin, thank you so much. You said, thinking about the Venmo, maybe from Steve. My Venmo attached to my husband's bank account show coming from my name and not his. And I'm old fashioned. True Georgia Southern Belle, and I wouldn't set up in my husband's name. Okay, thank you for that. Paula Volta says, maybe autocorrect messed up the message and it wasn't supposed to say they won't let me go at all. That whole message is so weird. Marie says, Grizzly rabbit holes times 1,000. Rob says, Andrew was at the crime scene. Yeah, what was he doing? Yes, and the game started at 4 p.m. What time did the game finish, you guys? What time was it done? Finished? Let me know. Let me know. Steve worked for the Optimist Club. That's what they said. That's what law enforcement said at the press conference. Okay. So we continuing on. We're almost there through this. So they are not going to let me go. Love you. There is a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door. They not let me go where? Love you. There's no sense of urgency in this whole message. So, and law enforcement said it's not a kidnapping. So it's a very strange message. There's a key to the house. What else would there be a key for? In the flower pot versus under the flower pot. Can anyone clarify whether Debbie or Steve left spare keys under flower pots? And why would Amanda not know about this? So if this was to Amanda, whether it's from Steve or Debbie, why would you say there's a spare key in the flower pot by the door? Because she would know this, wouldn't she? Because she lived there for most of her life. She just moved to Baltimore temporarily and then came back. Just stand by, everyone. Your previous map time shows ATM clue. What's ATM clue? Red truck is at ATM when the Venmo was made. It returns after she leaves and illegally parks. I remember that red truck, yes. Your map time showed it's an ATM. But removing funds from a Venmo, it wouldn't be at an ATM, right? This is the thing. Angela Bloom says, I think that message isn't Debbie. I think it's to throw off. Well, that I can agree with. I think the intention of the message is a complete deflection, a complete curveball in this case that works because it throws us all off, right? They are blue. They aren't even pretend. They are actually blue flower pots outside of Debbie Collier's door. Yes. Disco Bear says, also odd, Amanda wouldn't have a key to her parents' place after all these years. Exactly. Melissa says, maybe the message meant they're not going to let her go to the game, so use the key to get to the house. Well, at that time, she would not even make it to the game from where she went. From how far north she went. There's no way she's going to make it to kickoff time. I don't know who's not going to let her go. Okay. Whoever sent the text knows about the key and tried to make it look like Debbie sent it. Question mark. Question mark. Also, why did they never say that Steve also arrived at the crime scene? What time did he arrive? Why does law enforcement never say that? They tell us that Amanda arrived, when she arrived, where she came from. They gave her the location ping, but they don't tell us. Right? Okay, I think that's the end of my presentation. Oh, we got one more here. Andrew, the Gladiator Geigerich. The Gladiator? Andrew's mom was arrested in July 2021 and sentenced to 30 years in prison for trying to sell 2 ounces of meth to undercover police officers. She met with 2 undercover officers outside a Dollar General store in Statham, Georgia on July 19th, 2021. She got into the passenger seat of the vehicle and asked for the cash up front. When they refused, she led them to a nearby gas station where 2 of her associates were waiting in a blue Toyota Scion. All 3 occupants were then taken into custody by the Barrow County Sheriff's Office SWAT team. There's a 30-year sentence that she got for possessing, trafficking, selling methamphetamine. She began her sentence in December 2021. She won't be considered for release until 2036. I would assume, because Andrew was really close, he is really close to his mother, that this would just really push him over the edge, because he's already been in May 2021. He already wrote that threatening letter. There was a whole DV incident, breaking of windows that he had with Amanda. That was in May of 2021. And then in September 2021, we see the body cam footage. The mother was arrested in July. So May, he's threatening Amanda and her family. In July, his mother's arrested. In September, we see the body cam footage. In December, his mother starts serving the sentence. Then Amanda sometime then moves to Baltimore, and then she moves back in September 2022. Point is, that was a tough time for him, lots of things happening, and he might shift blame. I would think he would be very angry, and he sort of expressed that in that body cam footage. Do you remember? Lady Truth said, didn't they just move back to Georgia? Andrew's still living with his dad. Andrew and his dad still live with Andrew's grandmother. The dad lives with his mom. Andrew lives with them. So when Amanda moved to Baltimore, Andrew was staying at his grandmother's house. He said he works for William Sonoma. Yes. Which I wonder if he does. But it's Amanda that moved back to Georgia. And then he's there. Suddenly, on the day she arrives, he's there, back at the house. Like, what the hell? Darla says she must have been kind of known to law enforcement as a big part of a ring to get that many years. She probably was, even just based on if you go and look at that Twitter account I showed you of Andrews, all of the tweets, which maybe now he'll delete, I don't know, go look at it quick. But if you go look at it all, he said his mom was paranoid. She thinks the cops are coming to get her, that cops had raided the house and all kinds of stuff. So maybe, yes. Thank you so much. Happy Haggies. Tactical Repuse. Thank you. You say, I think Steve wanted Debbie killed and he teamed up with Amanda and Andrew to offer. I wonder if Debbie has a life insurance policy. Damn. Tom says 30 years for selling drugs is insane. Must have had a very weak lawyer, or the undercover was a child. Interesting. Oh my word. That's an interesting one. Yeah. Caroline says, our most likely perps are numbskulls who are also problem drug users. Rehab rarely works, especially the first time. Dependents cut off from funding are known to get rage out when thwarted. Exactly. All right. So I think that's the presentation. So now what do we have to do? We've still got to do map time. Damn it. We've still got another slide. Sorry about this. Trigger warning, I should have said. I just find it interesting. This was from December 2020 that Debbie said she had a fall. It could be a fall. It just looks like it's someone that punched her right in the eye. The violence, okay, Steve Collier said the violence between Bearden and the boyfriend was pretty constant over the entire time that they've dated, spanning a couple of years. Then these are just random facts I put in here. Geiger pleaded guilty in January 2022 to the DV counts against him and was sentenced to 12 months probation. He failed to show up to the Athens drug lab in July and August 2022, which violated his parole. On August 25th, 2022, his probation officer reported this 16 days before Debbie went missing. On September 16th, Andrew Geigerich was arrested and sentenced to 6 days in jail and ordered to show proof of substance abuse treatment within 20 days, court records show, which would be by October 6th. So that's interesting too. If you're on my second channel, you know what this is all about. Can you please start over, G? I'm late. Oh, man. So, yeah, sorry about that picture, you guys. All right, so that's that presentation time. Now, I'm freezing my ass off, so I'm quickly going to I just quickly want to put this be right back thing on. I'll be right back. I'm just fetching my jacket, okay? Hold on 1 second. Okay, and I'm back. I know we still have to do map time, look at the incident reports and all that. So what should we do first? Do you want to do map time, the police reports, or look at the northeastern? We don't have to look at all those articles. I'll just show you an example of one. The Northeast Georgian. I've pinned them all in order of what they are. I could maybe make a separate video reading through this. But in it, they talk about this Chick-Fil-A. So that's September 23rd. Victim seen in dollar store before murder. So just hold on. September 30th. In one of these articles, they talk about Debbie being seen. So here, look here. Even here's another one. One tip indicated Collier might have stopped at a Waffle House in Clayton on her way south, and investigators are checking the validity of that lead. The Waffle House is just half a mile south of the Family Dollar. And here they say, Terrell said Tuesday that an image from Chick-fil-A in Commerce shows Collier beginning to make her way north on September 10th. Tallulah Falls School Zone cameras captured an image of Collier's rented Chrysler Pacifica heading northbound on Georgia Highway 15 toward Rabin County at 2:17 p.m. All right. Map time. Okay, you guys are saying map time. So let's take this off and let us quickly prepare ourselves. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to make myself smaller in preparation. So let's get that map time going on. Here we go. Here we go. Map time. Let's do that because it's very interesting if we actually look at the maps. So here we go. Okay, I'm back. I'm preparing myself here quickly. Yes. Like that. Nice. Very nice. All right. Here we go. So this is the entire route that I've got. Okay. Now, I hope that you didn't miss the beginning of the stream or any of these bits, but I'll fill you in as we go. So if we go here, 425 Rocky Drive is where Debbie lived with her husband, Steve Collier. Okay. So Steve that day would have gone south, working for the Optimus Club, contracting to Cineverse Bank, parking cars for the game. Here's the Sanford Stadium. Now, if I just look at quickly the details, details, Sanford Stadium to the bank is 5 minutes, and from the bank to home is 9 minutes. From the bank to home is 9 minutes. So let's just pull this up here again. From the stadium, 5 minutes, and from there, 9 minutes. So about 14 minutes without traffic, right? Van Chim, you're going to switch to Grizzly podcast lurking. Very nice. Okay. So that's where Steve was from 9 a.m. until 4:06 p.m. On camera is what law enforcement says, parking cars for the game. The game started at 4 p.m. I still didn't see an answer exactly what time it finished. I would assume around 6, right? And he called 911 at 6:01 p.m. Now, if we go from where Debbie started her journey, now I've got to get my notes out. I wrote almost an entire notebook out yesterday. It was quite, actually this morning, early hours of the morning. Okay, hold on. Just trying to find exactly what's going on here because I made, yeah, there we go. Okay. So Debbie's car was in a repair shop. The rental's in the driveway when he leaves in the morning. Now, they say Debbie is spotted. That's what they just said in that article, right? Debbie was spotted at a Chick-Fil-A in Commerce. Here's Commerce, Georgia. Commerce, okay? And in this area, Commerce as well, is where Andrew Geigerich father, Max, lives with his mother, right? So Andrew's grandmother. All right. And now if we go and we zoom in here, here's the Chick-fil-A. And this address that I have here is this dentures and implant place, which I wonder if I pull this up, can we see it? I'll show you quickly. I'm gonna have to move myself a little bit. Hope you guys can see. This would be Amanda Bearden's Google reviews. There you go. A month ago in Baltimore, she said, I'm sincerely disappointed in the Coast Guard. I'm from GA. My car broke down right in front of this location. I was told that the car needed to be moved, but wasn't given the opportunity to get it moved. The car wasn't even there a few hours. The tire popped off of the axle, so it was almost impossible to get moved in the first place. And where the car was parked wasn't in the way of anything. I'm sincerely confused about the military. I guess I thought your mission was to protect, serve, and care about the general public, and I'm disgusted. Then there's Pearl Vision in Athens, Georgia. That was 4 months ago. So I just mean it didn't seem like she was in Baltimore for all that long. Anyway, they talk about Pearl Vision. Okay, so she's complaining there. Everything gets a 1 star, except Gateway Jewelry and Porn. A year ago, that got 5 stars. But affordable dentures and implants. Here's the address. 10 months ago, one of the doctors was super rude to me, and conveniently enough, I'm the very last person waiting. Not to mention, I wasn't given any medication. So 10 months ago, she went to that address and left a review. So where is that address? This is that address. Look how close it is to the Chick-fil-A. You see what I mean? We're going to do this again. So I'm wondering if did Debbie have a doctor's appointment somewhere here? Is that why she was at the Chick-fil-A? I wish I knew. What was she doing there already? That was already strange to be there because from Rocky Drive to the Chick-fil-A is 23 minutes. It's 19 miles. Sherry says, porn star gets, sorry, porn star. Porn gets 5 stars. Imagine that. Lawn shop, yeah, the pawn shop. Everything is 1 star except that place. That's like, oh, hell no, we're loving that. She's just like 5 stars. Right? Lex Luthor says, does she have dentures or implants? I don't know. So, yeah, there's more reviews there. But I don't want to be here all day, right? We'll be here all day. But there are more reviews on. I just want to quickly have a look. So the dentures place got 1 star. Higher Dynamics got 1 star. The Gateway Jewelry and Pawn 5 stars. American Deli 1 star. Tabo's Piggly Wiggly 1 star. Betty's Laundry Service 1 star. Massey's Used Cars 1 star. David's Bridal in Athens 5 years ago. Yeah, that one got a 5 star. And Barrett's Towing 7 years ago got a 1 star. Okay. So pretty much everything except the pawn shop and a wedding store got 5 stars. Yes, Jane says all snarky reviews I see, lol. Who eats before going to the dentist? Asked Cece. Maybe she had a drink. We don't know what she had. Maybe she had a soft drink or I don't know. I'm saying afterwards. I don't know. I don't know what she was doing there. It's just that law enforcement has said, which damn, was that a dive and a half. Thank you to Bed Crime Stories for helping me find the exact source of where it is said she was at a Chick-fil-A. But there it is. They have an image of her at the Chick-fil-A. What? Lori says, can't thank you enough. Loving the subtitles. I'm so glad. Stefan says, 1 star, Amanda. Yes. Yeah, everything. Okay. So I'm just saying that it's interesting to me that there's a dentures and implants place right here that 10 months ago, Amanda was like 1 star. And Debbie's here at this Chick-fil-A, which makes me speculate just that this is a place they might go to where if there's maybe it's like there's doctors, dentists, maybe that's their place to go. I don't know for what. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, Debbie goes there. So what I wrote down was home to the Chick-fil-A is about 23 minutes, which means she would have had to leave home at around 12:30 or 12:45, getting to the Chick-fil-A around 1:15. And then let's say if she's sitting there for a bit, I'm just now guessing the times, right? That she would be sitting there for what, 20 minutes and then leaving the Chick-fil-A. She would have to leave at 1:35 p.m. to be able to be caught on the cameras at that Tallulah Falls school area at 2:17 p.m. So I went from 2:17 p.m. and worked it backwards. So 2:17 to the Chick-fil-A takes us to 1:35 p.m. that she would have either driven past the Chick-fil-A or they say they've got an image of her from her there. Surveillance. Okay. So if she was there, she left there at 1:35. We take it back. Let's say she's there for what, half an hour? So from 1 o'clock and then 23 minutes. So leaving home 12:31, something like that. Okay. So then she goes from home. Thomas says, was the Venmo exchange the same day as the murder? It was the same day she went missing. We don't know exactly when she was murdered, but her car was spotted at that place by a law enforcement officer at 5 p.m. on the same day. And the next day, her body was found there. So, yeah. KTK says, and Amanda Bearden gets 5 red flags. Oh, man. Okay. So if we're going from Rocky Drive, driving all the way to Chick-fil-A, that's already quite far. And it's in Commerce, where Andrew was living with his dad and his grandmother. Now that Amanda was back in town, he moved in with Amanda. Don't you give me those little circles? That makes me worried. You see the little buffer circle? I'm like, no, no, no. Yeah, you guys are saying she probably had lunch. Of course, it is the right time for lunch for her. Yep. So she probably had lunch there. And then continue to drive, right? So now here is, we're going to go here. We're going to drive. We're going to do this a little bit here. She spotted in this Tallulah Falls region at 2:17 p.m., traveling 30 8 miles per hour, which is not above the speed limit. The speed limit's 45 in that area. So she goes there. This is where she's later found. And also remember, she's found on the northbound side, which is very interesting. We're going to drive that together. So you better buckle up, everybody. Marilyn R says, great work, Gisela. Thank you so much. Okay. So driving, I drove this whole route yesterday. Oh my goodness. I looked at goats on the roof and everything. Okay. So driving ahead, she gets to the Family Dollar store. I'm not sure because law enforcement, the footage that we got is there's little segments that are missing, right? But what time did she arrive in that parking lot? I just want to know the exact time that she arrived in that parking lot because there's about a 15 to 19-minute gap of like, what was she doing then? Maybe stopping at places along the way. Maybe. And so anyway, so she went to this Family Dollar store. That's what we saw. That's the surveillance footage we have coming in from the McDonald's side. You could see the McDonald's here. Entering the store at 2:55 p.m., exiting 3:09 p.m., sitting in a car for another 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, 2 of those are spent. She reverses out, reparks. That's when the Venmo is also sent, which is so weird. That's the whole riddle. That's the whole thing. Like, the Venmo is received by Amanda at the time when the car is doing all that and then leaving. And at that point, the phone is turned off. That's so weird. Yeah. You guys are saying, Diamond Girl, put those seatbelts on, everyone. You know already, huh? Now, the Habitat for Humanity is here in Rabin County. And that is speculatively, if Amanda works for this, I can't see it listed as her job, but people have said she works there. So that would be then the one she probably works at. Very, very close to the Family Dollar store. But they close at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. So Debbie only got there at like 3. You know what I mean? So 2:55. So I don't know what that has to do with it. And on Sunday, you see Rabin County, on Sunday, Amanda was in this area looking for her mom everywhere except the Family Dollar store, which is weird because she said she knew she was going to the Family Dollar store. But she was there, and that's how she got down southward to that south and did a U-turn. And I'll show you how easy that is to the crime scene much quicker than she would have if she came from Athens. So she was driving around this area. So to me, Amanda has got some connection to this area. What is it? Might hold the key to why was Debbie there. Now, in that article I just showed you, law enforcement said there's a tip that came in that said that Debbie was at a Waffle House after leaving the Family Dollar store. They're still looking into it, but here is the Waffle House. So this is the Waffle House. All right. And then, where's this other one? Someone also sent me a tip. Wait. Oh, here's the Walmart. Here's the Walmart Supercenter, Home Depot. So she went here and not as far as there? I don't know, man. I just quickly want to go and see if I can add one more thing in. Oh, man. I'll have to take Habitat for Humanity out and say, yeah, this one. This. What I've just put in there is this Lillian E. Smith Center. Now, one of the Grizzlies emailed me and said, you can see there's the Waffle House. You know how Debbie's son, Jeffrey, said that his mother's really into art and made beautiful art? Now, someone said there's some connection to a Nancy that owns this place, which is an art retreat center. And they were speculating maybe Debbie went all the way out to that area to go there. Maybe. I don't know. So this is just so that you know, another point of interest is that there is this Lillian E. Smith Center. It's an art retreat center. And apparently I could not see the connection on Facebook. But apparently in some way Debbie Collier is connected to this lady who owns or works at this place. All right. That was a lot. So, yes. So if we go one more time just down here, I'm going to show you now. From the Tallulah Falls area, where Debbie's captured on camera at 2:17, and then she's driving northbound at 38 miles per hour. That means, stand by, gotta find my notes. I did a whole calculation. There we go. On the camera at 2:17, she would be traveling about 12 miles. So I say 12 to 14 miles would take 15 to 17 minutes. So at 38 miles an hour, it would take about 19 minutes to get there. So 2:17 plus 19 minutes, so call it 20, 17, 27, 37. Did she sit in the parking lot for 15 minutes? Or what did she do for those the other 15 minutes, right? Okay. She would have then arrived around 2:36 p.m., but enters the store at 2:55 p.m. Okay, so she could have stopped at something like Goats on the Roof on the way. We just don't know. Now, if I go here, here's the Victory Home thrift store, right? And Victory Home Lane is there. And here we've got this marker. I'm going to go there just to make sure. But that is Debbie, her car, her remains and everything were found on the northern side, this side. So east. If we're looking now, we're facing north, right? It's on the east side. Ooh, that side of the highway. And she was actually traveling, she would have been traveling down like this. So would have literally made a U-turn to go back this way and then park where she was then found. So if I go in there, there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to this side of the, buckle up, I'm going to this side of the highway. So this is what would have happened. Wait, we zoomed in too much. Hold on. Yeah, we want to see the whole damn road. Yes. Good job. Okay. Smaller. There you go. So what she would have done, she would have been traveling from the Family Dollar Store area, from the Waffle House, from wherever, south to get back home, right, to Athens. So we go like this. She'd be heading this way. This would be Debbie driving. Did I do this whole route? Yes, I did. Yes, indeed. Now, there's this very unique little slipway here, which is actually for the purpose of U-turning. Look at it. It's perfect. It's literally the place where the car would have made the U-turn. You see? You see that? So this is heading south now, going home. This says Panther Creek Picnic Area and Trail Parking, which the Grizzly, Lisa, who went out to the area, showed us as well. But heading from that Family Dollar Store, now this would be heading south. And then, there's a convenient slipway. So we go here. We're still going, looking out for other vehicles. Look left, clear right, everyone. Okay, going like this. And right at this point is where the U-turn was made. To end up like this. Here's the U-turn being made. And now we drive this way. You can see the speed limit here is 55. In the school area, it's 45. And we're driving. We keep going. The U-turn has just been made. You see it? And here, listen, my voice better work with me. My voice has decided it wants to go. I will not give up. So this is the area, the little area where Debbie's vehicle was parked. In here. Okay? And it was parked to the one side, which I would then think the way it was parked wasn't like in the middle here. It was just to the one side, so that if there was another car, maybe here, maybe she met up with someone there. I don't know how someone got her to be here. I don't know. But there could have been a car parked next to her. The law enforcement officer only saw her car, according to what he said. But yeah. Caroline Page says, was someone waiting for her or them? Who knows? So it's here, right? Now, if we carry on driving this way, okay? So now, when Debbie came from home, this is now northward, okay? Northbound that we're going to drive now. So think about this. Wait, I'm going to show you one more time. Let's go from here like this. We just turn it around a little bit. Now, you tell me how Amanda on Sunday drives toward Rabun. She goes to Rabun County. She would have driven right past this like this. Debbie's car would be right there in plain sight, right there. Okay. But Amanda would drive right past this. Just right past. Keep it going. Didn't see nothing. That's weird to me. Okay. But anyway, if you keep on driving here, buckle up, everybody. 45 speed limit, you see there? We keep it going. Leaving USFS Chattahoochee National Forest. Okay. So that would be leaving the National Forest now. So an interesting little slipway right before that in the National Forest still to commit this crime. Right? And we keep going. We keep going. And then here is the Victory Home Thrift Store. It is open from Tuesday to Saturday, 9 to 5. Speculatively, if Debbie even just, I mean, you could see, you could even turn in here. You could even turn in here. But if she was driving southward, well, to end up there, she would have to keep going and make the U-turn where we just made it. But maybe she was like, ooh, I want to pop in there. I don't know. But then stopping in the turn before is so strange. It's just strange. Caroline Page says Amanda actually drove by looking for her. Yep. On the call records, the call logs, the police call logs that I hadn't seen yet and got from Bed Crime Stories, that one I missed. I have the incident report. It says Amanda came from that, man, I forgot the name, Rabun County, which is by the Family Dollar Store. She came from that area. She would have driven right past Debbie's car, huh? Anyway, so if we go here, it's from Tuesday to Saturday, it's open 9 to 5. So if Debbie left the dollar store at 3:19 p.m., she would have made it to this place before it closes. Could have even shopped there a little bit or something, you know? Okay, so we keep it going. Welcome to Tallulah Falls. I'm just showing you the speed limits and everything. Oh, damn. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. We keep going. I want to show you where the cameras are. Right here. It says speed limit 45 when flashing. See? These are the cameras where everything would be caught. But Debbie's car was actually, that picture is from here. I literally, wait, I want to go forward a little bit. I found the exact line. It's one of these, wait. It was one backwards. Wait. This one right here. You can see what I was doing early in the morning. Somewhere around here. Around here. Okay. What I'll show you quickly is a picture so that you see what the hell I'm talking about. If I could find the picture, that would be great. There. I have a better picture, but this is what I mean for now. So you could see there. This is not just from a clipping, but look. From the picture I got from law enforcement, this is just a screenshot. Yeah, it's like her car was right here when it was captured on camera at 2:17 p.m. So if we swivel around, I think it's these cameras back here that we saw. Wait, oh, there's a red truck. These cameras back here that captured it. Going northbound at 2:17 p.m. Was she captured coming back southbound? No. They said there's so many cars. They can't find her car, but like they found her car going northbound. Southbound, no. They haven't been able to spot her car on surveillance coming back southbound. So that's interesting too. Okay. Hello to Gray. If you're in the chat, I see people saying hi to you. I can't see your message now. There you go. Amanda spoke to Debbie at 11:50. Thank you. Okay, let's write that down. 11:50. I remember that actually, and I was thinking afternoon. 11:50. Wait. Amanda, I'm putting it in my notes. And Debbie would have left home speculatively based on the Chick-Fil-A thing and everything at around 12:30. So, you know, I wonder if she spoke to her after that on the phone again. Okay. Where am I now? So yeah, this is where her car would have been captured on camera. And just to do here, they say 15 loop. And she would have just driven that way to the family dollar store. It's a beautiful drive, actually. It's really nice, but I just still wonder what on earth was she doing in this area? Why is she driving so far, right? So if I exit from here, yes, Tallulah Middle Falls School. So now you can see it again. Let's just orientate ourselves again. No. Northward. To be traveling southbound, she would have to make that U-turn to go back this way, which I can only imagine would be, what is the reason to do that? To me, it would be to go to this place. Even though you could turn in from there. But it's like turning to go there, but then stopping just one stop before. Whew, it's so strange, right? Rochan says, maybe that dollar store had especially cute ponchos. Especially cute. Oh, man. So I think we've looked at everything now on the map here that we can look at. I'd be interested to know more about this. If she went there that day, if she went to a doctor here by the Chick-fil-A, if they're going to get footage from the Waffle House. There's still so much in this timeline. You know? Book Girl says, I meant maybe she was trying to get Amanda pain meds. You never know. So now let me put this off. Okay. We do this. We make myself bigger again. All right. Now what I want to show you is this. Ooh, damn. Okay. What did I do? I think we've gone over this before, but just in case, let's look at it again. So this is the Havisham County Sheriff's Office incident report. Incident type, person down. We'll do this and then we'll wrap it up. Otherwise, we're going to be here for so long, and replay watchers, they'll miss out. They better watch everything. Please leave comments below saying, make sure you watch the whole thing. They're missing out on everything. There's a lot happening here today, right? Okay, so person down. Incident event GA15NB prior to Victory Home Lane, Clarksville, Georgia. Incident code 7399 on the 11th at 9/11/2022 at 12:20. Right? Stranger to stranger unknown. Deborah Todd Collier. White female, 59, birth date 1963. She's in a 2022 Chrysler Pacifica van, black, which has those power folding mirrors. That's why the mirrors are tucked in like that. Because I was like, oh my word, someone tucked the mirrors in and they drove into that ravine. I think that would be very difficult to do. And if the car is turned off, then the mirrors do that automatically. So I wonder then if the key was the key found in the ignition? Caroline says these sheriffs watch too much TV. No grown-up law enforcement person ever used that term in writing. What? Angela says, I think Gisela should open up a Waffle House where all the Grizzlies meet up for speculating and waffling. Yes, yeah, in the Netherlands. Waffle House. Okay, so we've got Sergeant Neil. We've got all. I'm just not going to read everything. I just want to show you a basic of this, and I'll show you the call logs because I know we've gone over this before, right? Video, audio. They talk about an adult, active case. Then they say incident was drug related. Yes, unknown, and they explained why they did that as well. Yay, Thor! Hello. Are you all settled in? Okay. On Sunday, September 11th, 2022, at approximately 12:28 hours, Sergeant Ethan Neal was notified by Habersham 911 dispatch that a caller from Sirius XM service had been pinging a vehicle per the request of Athens Clark County Police Department in reference to attempting to locate a missing person. The caller from Sirius XM advised dispatch that they had been attempting to locate the vehicle and believed it to have stopped or pulled over in the area of GA15 northbound, in the area of Victory Home Lane. Do you guys remember this? Do I have to go through it all? It's kind of just a whole narrative of what happened. What I really want to do is actually show you this one. Yeah, this one was so interesting. Wait. Yes. This one. Let's go over this one first. Call for service detail report. So that one is interesting because this tells us that Amanda was coming from the north. Created on 9/11/2022 at 8:29 a.m. Call taker, Athens. Okay. They go here. Routine, 3 low. Okay, here we go. 9/12/2022. 9/12/2022. So these are all over the place a little bit, the timeline, but you can see 9/12/2022, 10:33 a.m. Requested all recorded calls between 22:24 Amanda Bearden and Sirius XM in reference to the missing person case. So then, recording sent to 22:24. Then 9/11/2022, September 11th, the Sunday. Recording of the 2 phone calls he made related to the case to be emailed to him. Spoke with Sergeant Neil of Habersham. 5:26 p.m. Supplemental will be done under initial report. Just follow along. There's interesting information here, right? 4:39 p.m. Made contact with Sergeant Neil with Tallulah Falls. They may be reaching back out. 20 or 2224 connected to that officer via. Okay, so now we go 3:51 p.m. Body of missing located. 1:56:39. Spoke with daughter to inform her the van was located by police. She stated that she's in Rayburn now looking for her mom. So this was at 1:56 p.m. Sunday. So that Sunday she had called 911 at 8:30 in the morning and at 9:40 in the morning, and then obviously headed to, well, we don't know how long she was there, where she stayed that night, nothing. But anyway, she ended up on Sunday afternoon, just before 2 o'clock. She was actually in Rayburn looking for her mom at the Walmart and the Ulta and all that. She didn't mention the Family Dollar store. And then turned around and came to meet them, and then would have done that U-turn that we just did on map time. Right? So that's where the source is. I was like, where is the source of saying? Again, shout out to Bed Crime Stories. It's another YouTube channel, also covering the case very well, I might add. And I was like, where did you get that detail that Amanda came from Rayburn? And here it is. Here it is. So Bed Crime Stories, Terry sent me this as well because I hadn't seen this. And I'm like, what? Okay, so at 1:08 p.m., they say connected to Habersham County on BLK Ricketts Beth phone. And so it continues on. It's not too, they say, has contact with a vehicle. That's at 12:52 p.m., but not the missing person. And so for me, the most interesting thing in this whole document was that, the Rayburn, that Amanda came from Rabin. Sure. Lex Luthor, disclaimer. Amanda never looked or mentioned looking at the Dollar General store or the Family Dollar store, for Mother Debbie. Though she claims her mother went to that Family Dollar store for Amanda. Why didn't she look there? I know, right? That is the question. Yes, please. Yes, please. Katie says, I think we should buy Gia a castle that's fully furnished with a million pack of llamas and 12 clones. Yes, please. And flamingos in the garden. Okay, so moving along. Here, her sister. That's where I got the times of the 911 calls. That says 11:30. Her sister Diane Collier. See, we could see the time because I couldn't figure out when exactly did these people call? Who called when and what and in which order? So first Steve Collier, then Amanda, Amanda again, then Diane Shirley. Uh-huh. And then there at 9:40 a.m. does have iCloud info. She's very upset and feels like things aren't getting done. I love how they take notes of all of this. They must. I'm just saying, whoa. All right. This was 9/12/2022. I'm just scrolling through a little bit because we're almost 2.5 hours in, and I think I should just about wrap this up. 3:51 p.m. Body of missing located. That was 1:56 p.m. Spoke with the daughter to inform her the van was located. She stated she's in Raven now looking for her mom. See, there it is again. Oh, my word. And they've got all the calls recorded between Amanda and Sirius XM, which is interesting too. I wonder if we'll ever get to hear that. What does she say to them? Right? So there's that. I'm just going to quickly scroll faster here. Sorry for all that. I'll probably put these documents on Patreon as I always do, so that we can read it there and discuss it there more together. But here, if we just look at this, if you missed the K9 part, upon Sergeant Neal's arrival, he observed the vehicle parked in what appeared to be a pull-off that leads to an old logging road directly off the GA15 northbound prior to Victory Home Lane. Sergeant Neal was notified by Foster that he had observed this vehicle in the same spot at approximately 1700 hours of 5 p.m. on 9/10/2022, but informed Sergeant Neal that vehicles routinely pull into this area. Foster also advised Sergeant Neal that the vehicle was unlocked and unoccupied. Foster stated that he had walked into the woodline a short distance to see if he could immediately locate Collier, but was unable to do so. Sergeant Neal requested Lee, Arundel, Correctional Institute K9, Lacey K9 to be en route to the scene. Sergeant Neal also requested the Georgia State Patrol Aviation to be en route. A short time later, dispatch informed Sergeant Neal that Lacey was unable to respond due to the unavailability of a K9 and was advised that GSP Aviation would be en route. Okay. They say, while on scene awaiting the arrival of Forrester, Collier's daughter, Amanda Bearden, arrived on scene in a hysterical state. Bearden began screaming that the vehicle belonged to her mother. Bearden was notified by Athens Clarke County PD that the vehicle was being pinged by Sirius XM and provided her with the approximate location of the latest ping. Sergeant Neal and Foster spoke briefly with Bearden, asking general questions in reference to Collier's mental health state and briefly about her medical history. Bearden advised Sergeant Neal and Foster that her mother did not have any history of any mental health issues and denied any unaliving tendencies. She also stated that her mother has a bad back and couldn't have walked far. While speaking with Bearden, Forrester arrived on the scene. Sergeant Neal briefed Forrester on the incident and requested that he deploy his K9 to attempt to locate Collier. So, see, she was hysterical before they even found her body. I'm just saying. Yes, they found the car and all that. Gray says, remember, Amanda was given the general location of where Debbie's car was and then was told it was found and showed up on the specific location. Exactly. Kevin Hansen says, thank you so much. What is the most plausible explanation of what happened? More often than not, it will be the answer. Statistically, who would do this and is it plausible for that person to do in this situation? Tell us, Kevin, tell us. Well, that's what they say here. She arrived hysterical. Let's just go back to Gray's comment. Amanda was given the general location of where Debbie's car was. Then it was told, but she would have driven past that car on the way north to Rayburn, right? Jamie says, why was the car unlocked? She wasn't going to be there that long. All right. So if I just finish this here, Forrester deployed his K9 and began searching for Collier, accompanied by Sergeant Neal and Foster. During the track, Sergeant Neal allowed Forrester to stay approximately 25 to 30 feet ahead of him while he and Foster scanned the woods for any sign of Collier. As Forrester proceeded south or southeast through the woods, Forrester called out to Sergeant Neal that he had located an item. Sergeant Neal and Foster quickly approached Forrester. Sergeant Neal observed a red tote bag laid on its side near an uprooted tree. At the root ball of the tree, Sergeant Neal observed what appeared to be the remains of a fire. As Sergeant Neal approached the fire, he looked further down the embankment. Sergeant Neal observed what appeared to be a partially burnt blue in colored top. As he looked further down the embankment from the top, he observed a nude female lying on her back, grasping a small tree with her right hand. Sergeant Neal approached the female, immediately observing her to be obviously deceased and identifying her as Collier. Sergeant Neal observed Collier's remains to be apparently burned with what appeared to be charring to her abdomen. Sergeant Neal instructed Forrester to hold the immediate area while he returned to his patrol vehicle to make the appropriate calls for assistance and to establish a crime scene. I mean, if her jersey caught on fire, that would also explain charring on her abdomen, right? And her being found topless. And as someone said earlier, if she's rolling down the hill to try to stop the fire, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Sergeant Neal instructed Forrester to hold the immediate area while he returned to his patrol vehicle to make the appropriate calls for assistance and to establish a crime scene. Sergeant Neal returned to his patrol vehicle, established a crime scene using crime scene tape around the immediate area of the vehicle, and began a crime scene log at approximately 15:06 hours. This time, Corporal Andrew Townsend arrived on scene and took over maintenance of the crime scene log for the duration of this incident. Okay, so that's what we got there. I'm just going to skip forward to the end here. Upon completion of the initial investigation at the scene, Collier's remains were collected by Coroner Kenneth Franklin with the assistance from Habersham County Fire and EMS personnel. RJ's wrecker service removed the vehicle. Sergeant Neal followed RJ's wrecker service from the scene to the Habersham County Sheriff's Office, where the vehicle was placed into evidence. It's all optics says her jersey likely would have melted onto her skin. I mean, yeah. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think happened in this case? It's just all like, what? I mean, for me, all the possibilities still exist. So I don't even know what to think. But there's we went through everything today, all the clues, all the things. Oh, my bad. I let me just close these tabs. And then, I mean, I did still want to go over all these articles with you. But man, it's just so long. I don't mind, but it's going to be a 3-hour stream, man. Morning Dove says she was completely nude. The Georgia, what are they called? The Northeast Georgian newsletter, online source, yeah, local newspaper, said that she was topless. And then articles have all said partially nude. The police report said nude. Copper Horse says, I have no idea what to think. Yeah. Wow. Prayer Partner Eve says accidental self-harm. So let me quickly do a poll while we're all here. Let's just see. Can I do one? Let's do this. And then we'll do a quick poll and then we'll call it a day. I'm going to hear myself. Hold on. Let's ask. What do you think happened? I'm gonna call it self-inflicted. I don't know what else to really self-inflicted accident. Right? Okay. What else could I ask you? I hope my polls sometimes suck when I'm doing them live. Oh, great. Let me see what you say. That's what I said about the jersey on my shirt. You mean like that the jersey that would make sense, right? There's some kind of accelerant, which also the paper towels and I don't know, just the stuff around there. If there's some kind of accelerant and it like hits that jersey and that jersey is very flammable. I mean the tarp is also quite flammable, but it's only partially burnt. So that could be, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to ask. So I'm gonna say stranger or serial killer, just so I don't know. I can't put too many options in here. 4 options. I know. I wish we had like 10. Disc Golf Bear says any polyester blend would melt, and I think the tarp was also like a poly tarp, right? It could also burn quite easily. Gray says no. She had her shoes and shorts on, as I reported a week ago after talking to the detective. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I was wondering about the shoes. They did say topless, so that would make sense that she had her shoes and shorts on. Oh, damn. Fluffy says, I think Debbie was meeting a lover who was also married. See, that's not part of my options. Sorry. Janice P says she had to be meeting someone there. CC says Andrew involved Amanda helping cover up. Crystal Emma says there's a YouTuber that went to all places on video that Debbie went this day as well. You're doing an amazing job. Oh, thank you. Candy says she was having an affair. Is my suspicion, or she met online. What are we hearing? Where's the sound coming from? All right. It's just like, yeah, I suppose a tarp, a poncho, paper towels, refillable lighter. It's almost like meeting for a picnic or I don't know. Right? But then again, she may have had the lunch. I don't know. Wanda says very personal. Well, I really hope we'll find out soon. Sweet Dreams says someone she knew. Angela says she could have been forced off the road, told she has a flat tire, then forced into the woods. Lorna says, why bring the tarp and other items with her into the woods if it was an accident? Book Girl says, jerseys often have screen printing like plastic. Grace says, did you get the unredacted description of how her body was found? I really didn't get that. No, I did not. Ooh. Do you want to send it to me? I won't show it now, but I will just read it for myself to know. I've never seen that. Kathleen says, I agree. A rendezvous gone bad. Rendezvous. Rendezvous gone bad. Yep. Could be. But the items are it's almost like meeting, I don't know, in the woods for a picnic. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know who she was meeting up with. Anyway, let's see what you say. So 77% of you say someone she knew lured her there. Yeah. I'm going to end the poll there. How many we got? 248 votes. I'll leave it there for now. Poncho for a picnic. Oh boy. Rotan says, I'm thinking Dexter poncho. Gray says, laying on the ground, her feet facing downhill, Okay, trigger warning, everyone. Let's see. Laying on the ground, feet facing downhill, head up. She had no top on. Her skin appeared black and bright red in places as if she was burned. Well, that would be that would be well explained by the jersey being burnt, right? Okay. Interesting. All right. So, let's just quickly see. There's still no answer for this one, you guys, while we're here. This 13-year-old boy was found dead in a wooded area behind the homes in Lithonia, also in Georgia, covered in a blue tarp, also clutching a tree. I'm not saying it has anything to do with anything. I just think it's sad that this is still unsolved too. And they're looking for a person of interest in this case as well. This was 1 week after Debbie's death. So if you haven't heard about this before, they say DeKalb County Police are investigating after a boy's body was found in the woods at a park behind a subdivision in Lithonia. This boy died of gunshot wounds, by the way. Officers were called around 4:20 p.m. to the 2600 block of Parkway Trail Monday, where they discovered the body of a male juvenile in the woodline. The homes in the area butt up against Lithonia Park. The child's age and identity have not been officially released, but they were. So 13-year-old Jamiron Crosby. Chanel Crosby says her son disappeared early Saturday and that she had not seen him since. He was my helper. He'd helped me with my little daughter, my youngest son. He was a real person. All he wanted was real around him, real love. He wanted to be loved by his family. He was a straight A student, 8th grade at the DeKalb Alternative School. He just joined ATL Elite Football. Says he left home with some friends around 2 a.m. Saturday, and that was the last time she saw him alive. So yeah, that sucks. You guys are saying copycat. Nature Lover says, I don't believe that holding a tree thing, by the way. Here, when they interviewed neighbors in this case, the one lady, actually the lady that found him said he was clutching like bushes. And with Debbie's one, I don't know, clutching a tree. Wow. So yeah, let me just quickly find, let's remove this. Go back here. I'm almost done. I just want to find this because this is the person of interest they're looking for. In that case, I just showed you. It would be this man right here. This is, sorry, I put it like right over me. In the case I just showed you, this is a person of interest that they want just for questioning. So if you are in the area and you see this person, call it in. They say they want him just for questioning. Anyway, my voice is about to pack up. Don't worry, guys. Gray can be here. If this was a picnic, who's bringing all the food? Says Angela Carpenter. I don't know. Dixie says, I don't think it was a lover's meeting wearing a visor. It wasn't awfully sunny that day, but I don't know. And then criminal profiler John Kelly said he believes it's a serial killer. So I don't know. And law enforcement says not serial killer, not kidnapping, not unaliving. Personal, targeted, but let's see what they say today, this week. I don't know. So yes. Okay, I'm going to take this picture off now. Thank you so much all for being here. If you stayed here for the whole show, damn, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Grace says, I can't see whoever's bashing me. No worries. Yeah, don't worry. We're all good. Rochelle says, can't believe you're still on. We'll have to catch the replay. So I hope I covered everything that I wanted to. I mean, there's so many notes and things. I mean, I could go on all day, as I say, but I'm not going to because that would not be very effective. But I think we covered everything that I wanted to cover today. The other stuff is just more fluff, more things, you know? I was just thinking of something here. Hold on. Nope. It's just all more fluff, more things. Let's leave the notes right there. Cheeky Llama Creation says, still here lurking. Thank you for lurking. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you are on Patreon, hold on one second. Kathleen says, great, it's because we are lightning fast deleting rude comments. Yes. If you're on Patreon, you can look forward to a new video coming very soon. I know I still owe you one video from last week Sunday when I went to the city. I've still got that to put together. But tomorrow I'm going to a place, a very special place where they've got pandas and they've got a light show, and I'm going to be filming all of that. Maybe I'll do a live stream from there, depending on the signal out there. But I'm very excited to show you guys that. And as I said, I'll put these documents on there right after the stream as well, if you do want to read through it yourself. So if you want perks, like documents, other videos, like seeing goats and pandas and other things other than true crime. It's true crime and other things. Patreon's the best place to be. So thank you so much. Aaron says going to have to replay this one. So much info. Yes, I hope. So guys, please leave a comment below saying if you're reading this, watch the whole stream. So that people don't miss out, okay? So yes. Wow. Loving all you guys' theories. Thank you so much. Let me just see over here. Did I end the poll? I always forget to do that. Still 75%. Think someone lured there. Yes. Yeah, cute bears. Panda bears. Also favorites. All right. Yeah. Jane says, don't forget to bend and snap. I know I need to make videos for my other channel too. There's so much to do all the time. But anyway, I probably need a little bit of a nap time. I was up all night in this rabbit hole looking at all this stuff. And we could go on all day. I would recommend, if you haven't yet, go sign up to the Northeast Georgian. I think I paid $8 for a month, and then you can see all the articles on Debbie Collier's case. And it's very interesting. They've got little details in there that you don't really see elsewhere, So that was really great. Please get a coffee. Verkeerd. Wat is 'n soort koffie? Dankie vir die koffie. Yes, Aussie Mozzie. Get G over. How many do we have? Get G over 1,000. I don't normally focus on that, but 1,000 is a cool number. Hey, yeah, we need a few more. Oh, we're going to cover Monday's press conference. Is there a press conference on Monday? If there is, hell yeah. Wait. Before I go, Waffle time. What are you saying? How do you know there's a press conference on Monday? Is there one? Debbie Collier case discussion. There's a case discussion on Facebook, by the way, you guys. Nope, I don't see anything about a Monday press conference. Yeah, so we did map time, article time, presentation time, rabbit hole, and now we're doing nap time. So nap time, panda time, and I'll see you guys all very soon. I know I have to update you on, the Quentin Simon case. Damn. Go check Cinema Shogun for updates there. Damn. And many cases that we're covering. So I'll do that. Thank you to everyone who's here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, mods. Richard says, respect for all your hard work, G. Thank you so much. I'm still all nasally. I can hear it myself. And I'm drinking tea, which is so not me. I normally drink coffee. Yeah, I'm drinking tea today. What the hell's going on here? So, nap time, panda time, and I'll see you all very soon again. Thank you, Jen. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everyone. And stay safe, okay? All right. Let's play the outro, shall we? This one. Bye.